Alright, so now I have two things, Spaces and YouTube. Fuck it. Might as well. And I need to make more coffee, so that's going to be in the works. There we go. Alright, we got the YouTube running as well. Might as well. Might as well do two things at the same time. Hopefully I don't go into a monologue situation. Hopefully nobody asks me. Cause then I don't want to have strikes on my YouTube. Please tell me I'm live. Alright, here we go. I am live. Alright, here we go. I am live. Alright, let me post this in the Discord. Let me post this in the Spaces. YouTube live. Okay. YouTube live channel in the pill. You're live, bro. Yes, I am, King Kent. I am live. Yes, I am, sir. Might as well. I mean, I'm fucking charting over here, so I'd be stupid just post pictures all day when I can just do it live and post pictures at the same time. So, you know, duh. Fucking moment. Had a fucking blonde moment. No pun intended. So yeah, just charting and getting ready for next week. I want to make some money. I want to find tickers at absolute support because we are inevitably, yes, I have a bunch of confluences that we will be having a green day Monday. My suspicion, just based off the confluence, I mean, look at the hourly time frame. Look at the hourly time frame. All right? Look at the support bounce here. Look at this Gartley harmonic, 6666, not financial advice. Okay? Let me get this better. 886 with a 1618 off of this Gartley, 10% tolerance rule. All right? You are finding support bounces here at this trend line at the 618, 6720 on futures. Rejection at 6780. So it just makes sense, right? Look at these candles here on the hourly time frame. A bunch of fucking dojis, right? After aggressive sell-off, you did find the bounce here at 67.30, 50. So my suspicion is going a little bit, leaning a little bit bullish Monday. My suspicion. Let me double check the daily time frame on futures. I haven't looked at it very clearly. Golden pocket. So it did have a double bottom. It did have a double bottom. So we also have to consider that when you create double bottoms, you also create confidence that the bounce is in, right? Get a nice little mean reversion bounce. Look at that 618, 6720. Look at that 618 bounce. Clean as fucking day. So I'm just going off of what I see here. Bullish. I got a Gartley here. Bullish Gartley. Double bottom. Key resistance at the 0.56780. So it's always good to just keep practicing from a visual perspective, resistance and support on futures, because inevitably this is what moves the markets. And look at this beautiful downward channel here at this parallel channel pattern that I drew. Lower lows, lower highs. So the trend is clearly in. You mitigate the 6.8 of the golden pocket. We're not looking good. It's not gonna look good in the near future. No way, Jose. No way, Jose. Okay? So, you got to get the bulls a chance. Let's figure it out. Bullish will be a good day. Will be a good for day. Yeah. We'll see. Yeah. We'll see. I mean, Bitcoin right now is at 67.7 right now. It's fucking holding on to dear life. It's holding on to its dear life. So, we shall see. Speaking of futures, you just kind of reminded me. Rejection, support. So yeah, we are hitting support as well. Now that I'm looking at it much clearer, there is a clear channel. Lower highs, lower lows. Now you didn't break the 67.20. I mean, you did, but I suspect a bounce here. And you are seeing bullish divergences. And let me just make sure this 30-minute time frame, I get 14 bars. Yup, that's bullish divergence, exactly 14 bars. Let me switch it over to the regular candle setup just to confirm. Bullish divergences. Let me pull it up on the volume candle setup as well. And I just got a message. Oh yeah, she's looking pretty. 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 Qué linda, amor. Beautiful. So this is 14 bars. All right, so this is technically a bullish divergence. Let me double check here. Yeah. Hold up. Let me turn on my EMAs, SMAs. Turning on the big boys. ADX at 37, negative DI. Below 23. Looks like the positive DI is at 10. We are somewhat seeing a potential sign to the reversal upside. Rejection at the volume average low, 67, 62. 12 bar structure. Okay. A HIM short squeeze videos popping up everywhere. HIMs, we've got to really cover HIMs. Oh my God. Let me look at HIMs. Yeah, we kind of have this BRR pattern. Yeah, the short squeeze on HIMs. I mean, we kind of had that conversation yesterday. Yeah, I mean, it would align perfectly with the BARR pattern. It's literally the perfect setup for a potential short squeeze. $40, great target. Great fucking target. If that news is sticky, right? So we got to consider if that news sticks and if people like it. This setup looks really juicy. At the end of the day, it looks really fucking juicy. So, I mean, we kind of YOLO'd. We kind of YOLO'd way too early. But who cares? No, I was just telling you. Oh, yeah. We kind of early, but who cares, right? I mean, if the news is sticky, then it's going to stick. That's going to inevitably fucking moonshot this piece of shit. Because holy shit, there's a $40 price target. Clean $40 price target. Online noise is picking up fast. Yeah, bro. Absolutely, yeah. Let me see the EMAs and SMAs on HIMS since we're talking about it. Because I haven't taken a look at that. Oh yeah, look at this daily look at the MACD crossover. Look at that underneath the center line. Absolutely bullish. Absolutely bullish. Negative DI is orange. I gotta convert that. ADX 20. Negative DI is 22. And look at that positive DI above 50 on the 12. So that is yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So look at that 50 rolling. Right? You see this 50 rolling. Price action is now setting up for something very interesting. Once price action continues to find support on that 50, which was resistance. So let's say hypothetically, right? Let's say Monday, going into Monday, we possibly retrace back to 1850. On the 12-hour time frame, that aligns perfectly with a key area support, right? This is just one way to look at it. 18, roughly 1820, right where that 50 SMA, right? 1820, or at the 236 in 1985. Good year, by the way. Great year. Deep in the bear zone. No, deep in the bull. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yes. Deep in the bear zone. I see what you're saying. Yes. Well, look at you, Mr. TA. Look at you, bro. Look at you. So, yes, deep in the bear zone. This is what we call a low balance range or consolidated balance range, however you want to do it. Low range, high range, mid range, just fucking call it for what it is. Once you consolidate it here, bro, I mean, look, nobody knew this news was coming, but this thing absolutely found. Look at this double bottom. Look at that double bottom, exactly 14 bucks. Once you hit another bounce here, that was it. Look at this volume candle here on the 12 hour. That double bottom gave, I mean, people stepped in here. Can you imagine the riches somebody's sitting on right now? The riches somebody's sitting on from 14 or 15, now up back to 21. What was that, a 40% move? Let's hypothetically say somebody's at this mid-range point. They made 40% on their investment. 40 fucking percent on their investment, especially if you have those hymns fucking believers. About 100 million shares are short, 53 millions are underwater in the dark pools too. I would argue, unless you have dark box, I forgot the name of that program, be careful where you get that information, because that information is not publicly accessible. It is showing a certain number, but is that number range true? And I remember one of the guys, if it's accessible to everybody, it's more than likely not the right information, because that information, you kind of need to use a specific software to get that type of information. I know this because I had a dark pool guy in the Discord. And if I can try and get him again, that'd be great. But he specifically only traded off dark pool information. And he only got dark pool information using a very sophisticated software. And remember, some companies like Fintel, wherever you're getting the sources, Fintel, for example, you got to keep in mind, Fintel data is 2 weeks behind. So whatever sources you're getting is more than likely laggard, because you or people need to understand that type of information, you do not want the public to have it so accessible. That would technically hinder institutions. When you have information like that and it's not laggard, guess who wins? Institutions. So the only way to get that information is using software that you have to pay for to have a fight against hedgies. So if you got access, if you had that information off of Google, I promise you that's laggard information. It's 2 weeks behind. So unless you use unusual whales, I forgot the other one called dark box or some shit like that. Yeah, that's the only way. Unusual whales. Okay, so if somebody got that information on unusual whales, I guarantee you on X, you can definitely find it. So either somebody in the Discord has it, or on X somebody has unusual whales. Let me see. I can just the amount of people behind hymns, I can just type in hymns right now. Hymns right now. Let me see. I'm just going to pull up hymns on X. Let's see. Top comment on X. Novo Nordics. Oh, that's actually a good company. I got a chart as well. All right. Novo Nordics. Hymns. Let me see the latest comment. Monday morning, 5 hours ago, Serenity. Let me type hymns short, right, on X. Hymns short. All I have to do is type hymns short. Short squeeze could be larger than GME. So this guy, Ronnie V, short squeeze 2 hours ago, larger than GME. Let's see. Let's see if there's any data behind this post. Another 40% on Monday would be crazy. So somebody said that there's a 40% short interest on HIMS, right? 60 shares bought at 1650. GameStop has 140% short interest. HIMS is over. So look at this. So public information already. HIMS has over 40% short interest, or so. But a short squeeze is a foot. Days to cover is 4 days. So look at that. So many public information on X. So much public information on X that everyone and their mother wants HIMS to win, right? So, yeah, there is a GME potential short squeeze on HIMS, and rightfully so, right? I mean, it's probably the most sought out ticker in the entire market. I mean, you know, I didn't know what hymns was up until, like, you know, everyone and their mothers just started fucking screaming about hymns. Right? It's like Oscar. Oscar a year ago, 2 years ago, was like the fucking ticker of the century. Oscar was the ticker of the century, bro. So, you know, everyone, speaking of Oscar, let me take a look at Oscar right now. Let me take a look at Oscar. What's going on with Oscar? Everyone forgot about Oscar. Poor Oscar. Poor fucking Oscar. Look at this thing. Poor Oscar. Somebody give a call to Oscar. Check up on his health. No pun intended. Check up on Oscar's health, please. Look at this chart. Look at this fucking chart, bro. If you bought Oscar at 1186, good for you. Because now you're up. You're definitely up on your position. Every time Oscar touches that box, 28%. 28%, bros. 28%. Again, Oscar in a clear fucking trend. Wow, Bitcoin now 67.8. Yeah, it's struggling here, which aligns with that 3 inside candle structure that we spoke about on Friday. Look at Oscar, folks. Look at this fucking thing. A quick update on Oscar. Oscar, fucking clean as day in a trend. And let me post this in the my thread. Look at this. Look at this. Oscar's not going anywhere. Oscar is not going anywhere, folks. I promise you that. Oscar. It's cooked. And I'm gonna post this on the NES as well. Let me post this on the NES. Alignment with my short at 73K on Bitcoin. $73K. Did you short the? Are you short 73K? Are you short 73K? Oh boy. So if you're short, wait, you were short on 73K? You know, let's chart Bitcoin. I haven't charted Bitcoin in like never. I just really don't like looking at Bitcoin as much. I really fucking don't. I'm tired of looking at Bitcoin every fucking day, dude. Every day, Bitcoin, 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 Bitcoin. You fucking Bitcoin. You missed a call from Sleepy. Who the fuck is this? Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck is Sleepy? Don't give me a call. I don't fucking know you. You're probably a bot. I don't fucking know you. What the hell? Who the hell is Kid? Get the fuck out of here, bro. The disrespect. Invite to co-host.
I'm about to...
What the? What is happening?
This app is a piece of shit.
It really is. By the way, you're just a disclaimer, you're live on stream, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah. Disclaimer.
So Oscar is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's considered a mixed buy. With analysts giving a consensus of hold rating, while some technical indicators and company guidance suggest potential upside. If enhanced subsidies continue, I've never heard of Oscar Health.
Oh my God, it was like a year and a half ago. It was nonstop. fucking you hear it mostly like in the like the 30-year-old, the boomers are the ones mostly talking about this company. A lot of boomers like this company. But
Interesting. So it's a new type of health insurance.
yeah, and the CEO is the cousin of Ivanka's husband. Either the cousin or the friend, but there's something connected with Ivanka's husband. I forgot Jared, whatever the hell his name is. Whatever the fuck his name is.
So I'm looking it up right now. So is Joshua Kushner what founded this company?
Interesting. It's in a range.
So it was founded November 1st, 2012, by Mario Schlosser, Kevin Nazemi, and Joshua Kushner. It's out of New York City. They serve New York, California, Texas, New Jersey, Ohio, Tennessee, Arizona, Florida, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Georgia, Kansas, Colorado, and Missouri. So it's not national. So they had a lot of ads running in the 2015s, 2016s. They were part of Peter Thiel's Founders Fund in a Series A, getting $30 million.
Hello.
Then they did their B round in 2015, backed by Formation 8, Horizons Ventures, Wellington Management Company, Goldman Sachs backed them in 2015. Then Google backed them in 2015 later on. 2016, Fidelity backed them. Alphabet backed them.
Wait, what?
And yeah, Alphabet invested $375 million in 2018, which then rose their valuation to $3.2 billion. And then I'm trying to figure out when they went public. But sometime afterwards, they went public, and that's about it. There's not much on them.
I think the hype is dead, to be honest with you. I don't see any upside. I mean, you can clearly see the chart is waiting for a catalyst. The fact that you've been in this range, I kid you not, since literally, you've been in this range for 750 days. 750 days. So, you know, something, the market's waiting for something for Oscar to do. So until then, this thing's literally in a consolidation phase.
2 hours ago, 247wallstreet.com posted that they have announced that 2026 is the year Oscar Health finally turns a profit.
2026?
Yeah, that this year there's a bunch of headlines. Yep, Yahoo Finance covered this as well.
Oh.
So apparently Oscar rose 9.6% despite the $1.24 EPS miss, guiding $750 million earnings improvement in 2026 so far, with medical loss dropping to 82.4, 83.4 from Q4. Q4's 95.4. Membership hit, so they have about 340 million people. And they're driving profitability, they claim, in 2026 through AI.
Oh, that's gonna be...
Everyone's AI washing. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
What up, Bears?
What up, homie? What's up? What's up, Chris, man?
Black Sky got a $99 million contract at market close, just on the defense.
Oh, Crispy, full disclaimer, we're on YouTube, so just a heads up. Full disclaimer.
You can say Black Sky got a $99 million contract at market close, like during the usual 3 o'clock or 5 o'clock market time. contract announcements. It wiggled the stock price a little bit, but it didn't really move it that much. I don't know how much it got noticed.
I'm on it right now, actually. I'm looking at this thing. Oh, beautiful. Look at that fucking
Yeah,
candle.
I put in a position in Black Sky recently just because of the Iran conflict. I do have a small position in Planet Labs as well, but I'm starting to pile into Black Sky. I think it's got a lot of potential, and I like that they work a lot with Rocket Labs. So.
Oh, yeah. Look at this beautiful channel. Bro, fucking gorgeous, man.
Yeah, it's GM Global Macro. I know you come across him a lot. He's been in Black Sky for a while. He just like sells it in the mid-20s and then buys it back in the upper teens, and he just washes it up and down.
What do they do again?
Earth observation satellites, surveillance. They're like Planet Labs, but they're a little bit higher resolution, but they don't have the same data moat as Planet Labs does. But these fuckers can see like the steam coming off of your coffee cup as you walk to your car.
Oh my god! So this would be technically like a defense play on top of that.
Yeah, defense play. Earth observation is a massive theme going
into
this conflict. It was a massive theme during the Israeli Gaza conflict.
Right.
So it's going to continue, but with this new grant, it's developed like kind of the next generation of satellites. So it's like an R&D kind of grant, but it's pretty substantial.
Dude.
But it's going to be substantial. It's going to be primarily backlog for a while, so it might be a little lumpy, but it's a good sign for a long-term position. That is.
Any ticker you recommend, bro? I'm keeping an eye on. This is only trading at exactly $21. Huh. I'm actually charting this thing. I want to see if I can catch at a good area of support. You hear that? Discord? Skywater. Black Sky. Take a look at that. Where are the quants? Take a look at Black Sky. I would pay attention once Crispy starts talking. I'll tell you that much. Okay. That's a significant deal. Let me see this deal. Black Sky secures 7 figures toward NGA Luna facility monitoring delivery.
I put the actual contract on my Game of Drones, and I'm gonna be renaming Game of Drones this weekend. I'm spitballing some stuff, but I don't want. I did send Blonde Capital the name that I'm thinking of, but I don't want to say anything before I scoop the domain and the handles and shit.
Oh my god.
But you never gave me feedback, Blonde, if you like it.
All right, did you send it to this account, DM?
Yeah.
Okay, let me look, but I won't say it.
Wait, what made you want to change it?
Well, I'm gonna pivot from like drones being the primary focus to being more deep tech, more space, more like materials, science, stuff like along those lines. More deep tech than just purely drone. I'll still be covering a lot of drones.
Right.
But I'm gonna be adding more space stuff and more like kind of material sciencey plays.
I like it.
I don't see it on this account.
Let me double check. I thought I sent it.
It could be, yeah, it's all good. Yeah, I highly recommend if you're going to create a brand, lock everything down first before you premiere. All the socials, even if you never plan on using that platform, just lock it down. It just makes life easier.
100%.
Yeah, just so somebody doesn't scoop it out from under you and then fish on your behalf.
Couldn't have said it.
Yep.
100%. Oh yeah, I like this. I'm gonna post a chart on Skywater.
It's Black Sky. Skywater is the semiconductors that got scooped up by Ionic.
I'm autistic. I get shit wrong.
But if you're looking at Black Sky, you want to kind of compare it to Planet Labs. Like those are the two major like investables in Earth observation. You also have Maxar, which is private, that was part of Lanteris, but Lunar, LUNR, Intuitive Machines, they scooped up Lanteris, but they did not get the Maxar asset, so Maxar is still staying independent. So it's Black Sky and Planet Labs. The major differentiation between Black Sky and Planet Labs is Planet Labs has been operating a lot, they have first mover advantage, they've been operating a lot longer, so they have more historical data that you can use to draw parallels.
You're a fucking god, dude. Okay. You heard that? Pay close attention. Let's go, chat.
Yeah, it's one that I've been in and out of for a while, that I've been interested in for a while. Like Planet Labs, I'll swing trade on the earnings, but I've never held on to it, and I probably just should have. But every earnings, Planet Labs blows it out of the park, and I think Black Sky has a little more beta because they're kind of like they're the second tier. I don't want to say second tier, but they're like the second operator,
Mm-hmm.
and they're competing on like technology and resolution. What I'm really watching for both of these companies
Mm-hmm.
is to expand into synthetic aperture radar a little bit. I want one of them to acquire ISI, which is a Euro firm that does SAR. But if one of them scoops up ISI, that's when I'll probably load the boat. That's what I've been kind of waiting on before getting deep into this one, because I really want SAR to be part of their portfolios.
I also want you to take a look at the chart I posted on Black Sky. So we are at resistance as we speak. So from a risk reward on what I have right now, let's see if it retests that resistance line and then breaks out of it, because you are technically making lower highs and there is a huge support bounce at 1535 here. Is it going to get there? I don't know. But what I am seeing is a trend here. So it's it's a powerful, actually, it's a very powerful chart, by the way. Very
Yeah,
strong chart.
I felt it was toppy where I was grabbing it.
Right.
So I didn't move in size. I just grabbed, what I do when I'm going into a new play, I'll grab like a fistful of shares just to put it above a watch list. Like this has been on my watch list for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
but I consider like my little positions. Like I have littles, middles, and biggles. My little positions are like my high confidence watch lists essentially. So I'll have like a handful of shares. I might, if I see some good opportunities, I'll like maybe double or like kind of move in like a little bit more size, but
Right.
I'll let them grow into the thesis, because it makes me like pay attention to them a lot more when I actually have like skin in the game, even if it's a small amount of skin. But like my main plays are still my main plays, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Speaking of Ondas, you got me looking. Dude, we got to get $1 billion deal fast, dude. I'm telling you, it's fucking pissing me off, dude.
Sammy, you're a tourist here. We've been seeing that since last year.
Bro, what are we fucking waiting for, dude? It's
The stars are aligning. The contracts are lining up. None of the Ondas companies got drone dominance, so there's going to be a little bit of pressure on that. And Dragonfly, Red Cat, none of them got drone dominance wins. It was all private companies. Skycutter, a British firm, actually won the fucking day. Then Neros came in second.
what? No.
You didn't see any of this that I posted or was talking about the other day?
I've been literally reworking my entire business, so I've just been focused on personal things right now, but I got to take a look at what's going on.
Yeah, the drone dominance gauntlet is over. The results are out. All private companies winning. But Skycutter in particular is the most interest for me. They're the ones who won it. So they've got like 2,600 some odd drones that they need to deliver. And they also all of these have the opportunities to get bonus drones, up to 6,000 that they can deliver on top of what they're awarded. Neros is probably in the best position to capture that because they already have manufacturing at scale. Some of these other companies do manufacture at a decent scale already as well, but Skycutter is going to have to partner with somebody in the U.S. to start expanding. They're the dog that caught the truck, so they're going to really have to figure out their scaling game.
Where do you think Ondas stands now? Your personal opinion.
It's just all about counter drone. The next gauntlet is going to be counter drone versus drone.
Right.
So that's where there's going to be the most potential for Ondas, and that's not going to be until this summer.
Fuck, don't say that. Oh my god.
Just airport, they're doing fine.
Right.
I don't play price action on these. I just hold long term. I'll throw call options. Like I have a fistful of calls on.
Right.
UMAC, Ondas, and Dragonfly going into drone dominance. I'll probably take a haircut on the Dragonfly ones, but I'm just going to let them play out for a minute. See if the overall sector lifts.
Can I show you what I see here? I'm just going to post it in this, or watch the stream, but either or. There is a real world situation that Ondas can get back to 870. We are seeing large wicks to the down. I mean, we got fucking rejected. Like hard rejected at $11. And we try to retest $11 and we just continue to fail here. So there's a real world scenario that Ondas can get back to the 0.5, aka $8.70, which aligns perfectly with a clean area support. that we've had for quite some time. So this is why I said fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, god damn it, we needed something.
But
And
do you know, in drone dominance in particular, you know who's probably going to win the most out of this?
who?
Unusual Machines, my friend.
Oh yeah, they're fucking eating, dude. Now that you reminded me, let me go take a look at you, man.
Yeah, you should chart that one out.
Drone manufacturer out of Ukraine is actually supplying $2,500 drones.
Down to 500 per ring. You're incorrect. Did you watch the Senate hearing? You should check that out. They did a Senate hearing on small drones Thursday, and that had Owen West, Travis Mitz, I can't remember his name, and also General Marks, that all did a presentation for the Senate Defense Committee, and it was all about small drones and all about this program and all about the next gauntlets. It's about an hour 45, but it's well worth it.
There's a few suppliers, but yep. So you have a few suppliers, and that supplier was able to scale drones that counterbalance the Shahed drones.
Yeah.
So not just for the smaller ones, but kind of if you want to go from small to mid-sized drones with longer range.
You want to look at Wild Hornets. I've shared a few of their things, but they're building the Shahed killers, and 90% effective rate, $2,000 units.
And then you got the Lucas program as well, right? Which they're trying to scale that.
Which is fucking ridiculous. We're copying their copy of our RQ-170.
Yeah, the old Sentinel, that they down. So, but the funny part is that's what they were building over. So I think they're trying to use, as you know, we're talking about a few different manufacturers. So you are seeing these private companies as well.
Yeah, Lucas is made by SpectreWorks in Arizona. Their facility is about 23,000 square feet, and I think they have 13 employees.
Yep. But the counter systems, like we're also discussing, so they're also supposed to come out with, what's it called? It is named after, is it called Leidos, right?
Leidos? L-E-I-D?
No, not Leidos. It's called Leidos. So it's more electronic warfare, so you jam them, right? But some drones are GPS. Well, they have the ability when GPS tries to deny them, okay, or some other optics or sensors that they still can do what they do.
Yeah, they have autonomous failovers and visual nav.
Yep. So, it's kind of a cat and mouse game. So there's there's two systems. The Army was trying to develop one. So I think it's called Leidos and or Leonidas. Sorry, Leonidas.
UMAC.
I don't know if you've seen that. But check that out. Not Leidos. Leidos is more like software backend, right? When it comes down to, as well as they develop certain other like USBs.
The Leonidas is Epirus. That's the microwave shit.
Yeah, so they have the microwave stuff, which that tries to fry their electronics, anyways.
The microwave.
No, it literally is. It's a focal microwave phased array. But I am not too bullish on the microwave approach. I kind of consider them like really high value artillery targets. Same with lasers, but lasers I think are much better.
Hold up, guys.
Lasers over microwaves.
Guys, put UMAC on your radar, chat. Put UMAC on your fucking radar right now. Look at what we're seeing here.
YouTube right now, by the way.
Yeah, you guys are on YouTube, by the way. Full disclaimer. Guys, this thing wants to break out. Pay close attention to UMAC. This fucking thing's gonna break out. Good fucking chart, Crispy. Fucking genius.
UMAC, I'm talking to the CEO. They have earnings Monday morning. I'm talking to the CEO that afternoon. I only have 30 minutes with him. He's strolling around New York from one place to another, so I'll be talking to him while he's like walking the streets. But that'll be a good conversation. That's going to be at 5:30 market time, Monday.
That's the company that, did they open their production facility on one of them in Orlando?
Oh yeah, they're building motors now. They're expanding to third shift, I believe. That's what I'm going to be talking about because they're primarily like a manual line right now in terms of like labor building the drones, but they're starting to move towards automation. They're the guy that they have that's running their process automation comes from Tesla, and the Elon Musk strategy of you build it, you don't automate too fast. You want to build things with manual processes. and then just target bottlenecks, delete parts, like eliminate parts, target bottlenecks, and automation is the last step. But they're not following that same strategy as they're building out motors. They're also opening their headset facility and then moving into batteries. So there's a lot to talk about there in 30 minutes. But
you also have a battery supplier, right? I'm trying to remember the name of that company.
They just started working with. Let me look it up and get the exact company.
No, I have one of them.
Jesus Christ. UMAC, put this shit on your fucking radar, folks. Holy shit. This thing wants to...
I've been in this fucker for a year, man. I'm starting to get into capital gains territory of long term.
Hey, just real quick, does anybody know GK? Her posts are quiet. I don't know.
No, GK is KP's like sidekick.
Okay, good. Thanks for confirming.
So at the end of the day, if we're looking at these systems, right? So the component suppliers, right? When it comes to the battery manufacturer, that's what I think some of these companies are also having problems with, is scaling that up, right? When it comes down to the battery manufacturing.
Well, next gauntlet is going to have a hard requirement on United States motors and batteries.
So I think the name of the company that was.
Are you talking Amprius or ABAT?
Yeah, AMPX. Yeah.
Yeah, I played Amprius earnings, but I sold it out. I probably should have held on a little bit longer, but I got a good little stack on that. I'm just Amprius.
The setup on the weekly is technically favorable.
Yeah, they're getting a little extended. I might round trip it, but the company I'm talking about that Unusual Machines is paired up with is called Upgrade Energy. And they are actually going to be they're doing like high density lithium, but they're going to be working with Amprius as well. So I don't think UMAC is going to buy like a battery manufacturing company, but they're going to in-house production, and I think they might scoop up this company in California and then copy paste their production lines in Florida, and then just kind of do a dual line system. That's my guess. But I don't know until I hear the earnings call, until I talk to Alan about it.
I'm posting the UMAC chart right now in the fucking NAS. Fuck, this thing just wants up, Crisp. Put this bitch on your radar, dude. There's a target at a 100.
Are you telling me to put it on my radar?
Oh yeah, I'm a fucking idiot. I'm sorry. I'm like zoned the fuck in right now. I'm just literally locked in with this chart. Holy fuck, dude. Look at the chart I just posted in the NAS. Holy shit, this motherfucker. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, look for Rotor Riot Upgrade Energy, Kerrang, and you'll see like what they got going on.
What ticker is that? Is that a ticker?
Oh, no, this is a private company in the Gundo.
Gotcha. UMAC is about...
Did you see all the photonics names that have been added to the S&P 500?
Oh, yeah. AXTI, if I recall, that thing's blowing. I think that's the ticker. But anyway, it begins with an A and X.
So, on the back end...
A lot of them got faded, though.
On the back end of some of these systems, right, or optoelectronics, and that... if you want to call it side components, right? So Lumentum, I believe, was added into the S&P 500 coherent port. You had EchoStar, that's more SAT, right, based technology. You got Fabrinet.
EchoStar has the SpaceX kind of like the SpaceX Spectrum deal. So they have
Starlink,
SpaceX.
right?
Yeah.
Starlink. Yeah. And then you have Amazon Leo launching. I'm just saying the ones that were just added to the S&P 500, you're probably going to have to... They're already being bought out, right? Obviously, Lumentum's been just crazy performing, so LITE.
Lumentum did fade a little bit. It might be getting back closer to entry territory if Sandy wants to look at that one. The ticker is LITE.
LITE, absolutely. Any tickers, man. Just throw a bunch of tickers my way. Go ahead.
So if you look at it on the 3-month or the 6-month, they've back it backed off a bit, and it might be getting to investable territory again. That thing's, I don't buy anything over $100 really, so I've been priced out of that one as much as my interest was.
I literally went over this ascending channel. This is called a ascending scallop, and your magic number is off of these ascending scallops are two ratios, 2, 3, 6, 3, 2. Anyway, 380, 149 is your first. If you fail 380, 149. If you fail that retracement level, the next support is 242.80. So this is an ascending scallop. And typically when you have this kind of momentum, obviously you're going to be met with a retracement. So those are the two areas I'm looking at for LITE. Can it continue onward? Absolutely. But at some point, the fat lady's got to stop singing. So that's something to consider. But I'm going to post this chart soon. It's also on stream, guys. Full disclaimer, you are live on YouTube. Yeah, this fucking thing is dick up only, dude. Holy shit. The fuck? Oh, dark cloud cover on the daily. On the monthly. That's a good sign of reversal actually panning out nicely. So yeah, there's a dark cloud cover on the monthly, folks. And there is a fat harmonic here as well. Anyway, yeah. Holy shit.
Another one for you, Cyprus, SYPR, Cyprus.
SYP. Oh, dude! I had this one on my radar last week.
Yeah, I told you about this one a while ago. This is one that I've gotten from two trusted sources, Space Investor as well as Mike, Black Skulls.
Right.
They both kind of like this for its electronic supply chain in space and defense, like missile systems, satellites. But their other line of business was like trucking and materials and logistics, and so they haven't really been rated as a high-tech firm yet.
Right.
They're kind of still being rated as like a kind of like a material handling, like trucking kind of firm. So this one could be interesting, but it's in the frothy level of the territory. So this is going to be a greased up pig to try and catch a hold of. You might lose some capital on it. I'm not sized in hard.
You want me to show you? So if we break above, I kid you not, if we break above 474, there's a likelihood that this bitch can get to 1175, like a year out, year and a half, year out. But there is a likelihood because you are seeing a little bit of a momentum here. Obviously, it's slight. But if it breaks this magic number, 470, tell you right now, exactly 479, 480, there's a likelihood this bitch can get to 1175 at some point.
But with Trump's like announcements of like 4x scaling missile systems, we could see a fuck you contract come into these guys at any time, you know?
Really? That would align perfectly with the target that I got. Fucking A, dude. It's just overbought right now, man. Well, let me see where it's at.
That's why I'm not sized in.
Yeah.
I have been in and out of this name a couple times, but you know, it's not a high size for me. I'm only telling you the smaller ones, just like my newer plays,
Right.
just because you already know everything else I'm in. But
Yeah.
so my smallest positions are Black Sky, Iridium, TE, Cyprus, and Laser.
Dude, you know how bad I want to get in Iridium and it's not giving me that fucking pullback, bro? I'm pissed. It is finally showing a little bit of retracement here, which, by the way, thank you for reminding me. I gotta chart that. But Iridium is 100% on my radar, dude. It is fucking just... Ugh. What was the other one?
And so LASR, everybody knows that one. Enlight doing the massive laser systems, and TE, of course, you know that one.
LASR and TE. Oh, thank you for reminding me about that one as well. Duplicate. I'm just trying to save all these tickers. All right.
LASR might be getting back to entry territory here. They're kind of at the bottom of their channel.
King is asking. He's in the chat right now. King is asking, what do you think about VSAT? Crispy.
VSAT, that one's another one of those that I've always been interested in, but I don't buy because it's expensive. But VSAT is pretty big in this. You could, most of the space and aerospace and defense, you could probably throw a dart at and just like be pretty confident if you have a long time horizon. If you're playing the action, if you're like Sammy style, if you're trying to like catch it up and down, like you're gonna have a different set of like circumstances in which you. But I like primarily invest longer term. But I keep a small portfolio. Like I have too many positions now, so like in about a month, I'm probably gonna do a call. But I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have 13, and that's a lot for me. So I'm probably gonna trim one of these next week, and like in the month, I'll probably try to get it back down to 10. So I kind of expand my portfolio, and then I contract it, then I expand it, then I contract it.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
But my core four are still Lightpath, UMAC, Ondas, and Rocket Lab. But ASTI, I did trim Ascent Solar, but that's pretty close to my core four now.
Dude, I still like TE. I like the way this thing looks still. It's minor retracement, but fucking A, it's holding that high. 680, 592, where are we? 672? Dude, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, ASTI is now in my kind of like middles basket. It was up in the biggles for a little bit, but with that Star Path, like their thin film solar news, I trimmed on that one thinking the market might fade it a little. It has faded, but it hasn't. Let's see. I sold my position at 670, and I'm looking to round trip it closer to like around the 550 level, but I don't know if we're gonna get back there.
You just reminded me. I gotta take a look at that. I'll take a look at that right now. I'm just posting up the TE chart as we speak. You like my new colors, bro? It's much cleaner now. Not fucking dark.
I didn't notice any kind of a change.
Oh, all right. Well.
Your PvP or?
No, the fucking chart. It was fucking dark, and now it's all light and shit. It's actually it's a great marketing scheme, by the way. I recommend everybody, if you're gonna chart and do what I do, put your colors to light. It helps with what's it called when people keep continuing your clicks or your whatever the fuck it is.
Click through.
Yeah, click through. There it is. Thank you.
Yeah.
ASTI. Let's take a look at ASTI, guys.
Yeah, I could give you my whole book essentially if you want to look at anything interesting.
I love everything that you give, man. No homo, but like you always give up straight alpha, and every ticker you got just fucking runs. So yeah, I pay close attention to what you have to say. Shame on me if I didn't. Goddamn ASTI, fucking thing, bro. This is what happened to OPTX, man? Let me take a look at OPTX.
Yeah, I'm still in it. I'm up about 71% on that.
It never died.
It's dying a bit right now. Like if you look at the last month of price action, it kind of got chopped down, but it is still it's building a new channel essentially.
Yeah, it's a descending wedge, but yeah, I couldn't agree with you, 1,000%.
But the last week we've had a pretty decent little decent dip on that one. But yeah, this is a longer term hold. All of these are long term holds, like in the middle and middle categories. The little ones are the ones that I might chop in and out of. That's Laser, Cyprius, TE, Iridium, Black Sky. Those are they're my lower convictions. My middles right now are Ascent, ASTI, OPTX, Velo, and CVV.
I like what OPTX is doing, bro. Oh, by the way, I was going to ask you, do you think, and this is like out of the realm of stocks, do you think Anduril is going to they're already in the battlefield, or they're on their way to the battlefield? What do you think?
I don't know. Like how much Anduril has actually been deployed is always the question. Like they're in the middle. They're from like the PowerPoint to the battlefront, and along that line, nobody that I know that like tracks defense or has like relationships in defense or from defense has seen Anduril really being deployed. They did send some stuff to Ukraine. That shit failed. But they learned from that, and they're kind of deploying. Like outside of like dark ops and like kind of like testing stuff, I don't know if they are, but their fucking Barracudas are like 200 Gs, like for cruise missiles. Like they have a lot of tech that's promising, but how much it's actually been tested and deployed is the question, considering how long these fucking procurement cycles are. Like an Anduril like missile system is probably not going to get deployed until like 2028. But they say that we're going fast now.
Right.
But like they're still pretty much as slow as they've always been. But like if you like make a turtle go twice as fast, you're still not getting to like a dog territory,
I think of Anduril as like the super soldier. Like if you use, or Iron Man, if you use their equipment, this one soldier or multiple soldiers, whatever they got going on, bro, is just literally advanced fucking technology.
But but you gotta look at the PR with a grain of salt, because a lot of the Anduril Eagle Eye platform, that was essentially a rehoused meta glasses, or like meta goggles. You take all the optical components out of the meta goggles, which is what Palmer Luckey developed and essentially designed. Like, this is his invention applied to military, and they're just pretty much taking the meta goggles and reskinning them. But they are going to have to build up a supply chain, and they are going to have to be in compliance with the soldier-borne systems that are like the military requirements, the IVAS system, which I talked to the Copen CEO about on Friday.
Do you think that? Okay. I'm sure it was used in the Venezuela war, though. I think.
Yeah, the Copen CEOs, well, their systems are in helicopters, their systems are in F-35s, F-20s, so he said, like, he could say without a doubt that his systems were used in Venezuela, but whether they were used on, like, soldier heads-up displays is different than whether they're used on the attack helicopter that went in. Because guaranteed they were used on the attack helicopter, but maybe not on the actual soldier displays, like a Eagle Eye style, you know?
Right. Oh, dude, I'm looking forward to that Copen fucking interview that you got going. I think it's Monday, right?
No, I did that Friday. It's done.
Oh, fuck! It said the 9th!
That's... Monday is Unusual Machines.
Oh!
It was Friday.
Got you. Okay, so it was Copen. All right, I gotta go check that out. It was UMAC I wanted to take a look at. That's the fucking interview, dude.
Yeah, their earnings report is Monday morning, so that's the one. They have never done a pre-market earnings report. And if you look at, like, historically, or if you ask your LLMs, that's usually a bullish signal.
Oh my god, dude. That chart is beautiful, dude. I'm gonna try and get in going into Monday. Especially with this element, with the whole war situation. UMAC would make perfect sense.
It doesn't, dude. I don't want to rain on your parade, but they are not using Group 1 drones in this conflict.
But they're giving supply, though.
No, they are building the supply for the attritable drone systems that are being bought and tested right now. Like, the stuff that's in this war right now is all Boeing, all Lockheed Martin, all L3 Harris, General Dynamics, all primes. This is a primes war. Like, anybody that tells you, like, oh, this is bullish on DOS, like, it's like, yeah, maybe for momentum, maybe for, like, future contracts, but, like, there's nothing built by Ondas or, like, well, there could be some Red Cat drones, but we don't have boots on the ground, so that's not an application for ISR. So all of this stuff that's being deployed right now is all multi-million-dollar systems that are built by all the traditional primes.
King is asking for two things. He says DRS is another ticker. Kados after dilution. So Kados after dilution, where do you see it going? He asked.
Ooh, Kratos is always interesting. I sold out my Kratos position. I took that out of the top. I think it's kind of at the top of their narrative cycle. I try to get higher data with further growth potential myself. But Kratos is a beast. They're awesome. I know a lot about that company. I got a lot of friends who are still in it. It's good for options plays, but they're growing steadily. Like, Kratos is, like, if you're going to talk about the companies that are the most likely to be in this Neo Primes basket,
right?
Kratos is really high up, because a lot of people just see the Valkyrie CCA playing, and they don't know that Kratos is also building turbine engines with GE. They're building autonomous vehicle platforms. They're building, like, the air traffic control space systems, like, for satellites to be able to navigate. Kratos is in so many areas that people don't know about because they're not good at PR.
So I believe they're C4 ISR or C5 when it comes to Kratos.
Oh,
and their munitions, right?
They're like Group 5, like they're the big boy stuff. I think they're about 100 million, 200 million a unit.
So they're trying to get it down, right? The Valkyries that you're talking about.
Yeah.
That was the LR low rate
missile
production
systems. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have the munitions that you're talking about with GE, right? Aerospace, and then so that's for, like, munition engines, right? So, like,
yeah,
propelled munitions.
They also
you have the Symphony,
rockets.
right?
Yeah, they do so many. Hypersonics. Kratos is huge in hypersonics. They're part of the ACE program with Rocket Lab for testing hypersonics. Yeah. Oh, 2 to 4 million. I was way off. So the Valkyrie has.
So they're trying to get it down to 1.5. That's the 2 to 4. I think was what they were achieving with a low rate of production. But the Valkyrie is also improved, right? So it launches mini drones itself, and then you have the target drones, right, for training exercises.
That's been their bread and butter. That's what they were built on, was for target drones originally.
Yeah. So, as you were stating as well, they have multiple verticals. Symphony as well, right? That's the joint production with GE as well, right? For Florida Turbine Technologies, and that's for obviously boom aviation, right? So more also supersonic.
They're working with Boom. GE are working with. I thought Boom was primarily bringing that in house.
GE, and if you check out even Kratos' page on the bottom, it has the Symphony engine on there as well. And you can go to Boom Aviation.
Oh, yeah, Boom-led collaboration on Sympathy. Kratos
Symphony,
is the Ooh.
Talk to me. How significant is this? How significant?
This is pretty significant.
Well, they have 100 planes roughly on order, so Japan Airlines.
No. That's not the time here, Crane. Boom pivoted to data center turbines.
Yeah, they did as well. I forgot that. Yeah.
That's the primary time. Boom is pivoting pretty much most of their strategy towards the data center turbines, and if they're working with Kratos on this, because one thing that you gotta also consider is Robinhood is releasing their new private venture ETF. So Robinhood is saying okay, we're going to give you guys access to the same private markets, but it's all a bunch of
There's a few other firms that are into that already have when it comes down to pre-IPO.
Yeah.
So either early stage or.
Let me finish this a little bit here. So what Robinhood is doing is okay, we're going to democratize access, the usual Robinhood signaling. But if you look at the actual portfolio holdings that they're deploying into this ETF, it's a lot of AI and SaaS and a lot of bullshit in there. But Boom Aerospace is in that, and I even commented on Robinhood's X. It's just I would be interested if it you had more hard tech and actual things in this fund rather than a bunch of software. But also Boom, I would totally invest in Boom. But if you're interested in Boom Aerospace, I think Kratos might be the fucking vehicle for it, because if they're the engine design team for Symphony. So
yeah, with GE, right, and then Florida Turbine Technologies.
Mm-hmm. But GE is going to be that's just one little mosquito on their ass as far as the opportunity there. Kratos, you get so much more in this theme along with Boom exposure, so it's kind of like investing in an ETF, you know what I mean, but with a lot better options included with Boom, But GK's had her hand up for.
Yeah, I was about to say she's had her hand up. You there, GK?
I mean, I do not have that kind of knowledge in each company, but I haven't heard you guys mentioning AV yet, or Dragonfly, Red Cat, all of those drone companies that are providing for the war all over the world right now. So what do you guys think about those? You want to go over?
AV, yes. Red Cat doesn't have shit in this war yet. I fade on Red Cat myself. I'm not high confidence. AV, they've lost some big kind of contract momentum. They might be getting to the investable range right now. I primarily go on the disruptors over the incumbents myself. And Red Cat, since they lost George Mattis, and since they haven't been delivering on their ISR contracts, Skydio's been eating their lunch. They're pivoting the boats. We'll see how that goes. It's not a high confidence for me.
Mm-hmm.
What was the other one? Because you said AV, you said AV, you might be getting interested. And Dragonfly, I do have some lottos on Dragonfly, just in case they did get awarded drone dominance, but they did not. They got kicked out of the drone dominance, so they're going to be competing in the next round.
Oh, wow. What do you mean next round?
There's going to be 4 gauntlets for drone dominance. Gauntlet 1 is done. The winners were announced. All private companies. None of the public vehicles got in. Red Cat didn't get selected. Dragonfly didn't get selected. None of the Ondas companies got selected. But the next round is going to be primary against electronic warfare. So they're going to be running that in collaboration with the Joint Strike Team. These guys are trying to knock the drones out of the sky. These guys are trying to hit the targets, and they're just going to battle it out. So it's going to be testing both systems at the same time, and that's the one where you need to watch Ondas and Lightpath.
Okay, one more question. What do you think about Elbit Systems? There's one left.
Elbit's a beast. Elbit. And
What's the ticker on that one, GK? As he talks.
I forgot the exact ticker.
Dragonfly is let me see.
DPRO, DPRO.
DPR. Thank you. Go ahead.
Elbit is ESLT, Echo Sigma Ligma Tango.
Thank you. Echo Sigma. Elbit.
I think just to show you, we mentioned AVAV, ESLT. You guys mentioned Ondas, ONDS, KTOS. You mentioned Red Cat, RC80, and ESLT.
Thank you so much.
Well, there's another one, I believe Textron. There's another one, Textron. They do some uncrewed like air systems as well, right? Like they do have the drone stuff going on.
And then they have the V-280 Valor, which I believe they changed the name of that, right? So that got the future takeoff and landing contract instead of the Defiant from Boeing and Lockheed, or I should say.
I want to draw more attention to Elbit that GK brought up though, just because that one I think is it's expensive, of course, but like in terms of like what their potential is pretty massive. Now, everybody talks about these border sentry towers that are deployed on the Mexico border, and Anduril takes a lot of credit for it. Like, oh, we're the ones who are doing the border towers, the sentry towers. Elbit is the ones who are actually enabling that, and they're huge in this border tower project. So I would look into that avenue for Elbit, because we have the Mexico border that has these sentry towers that have pretty much. The wall is dead as a concept, and these towers have essentially like taken over that. That's the real reason why the border crossings have dropped so much is not because of any walls. It's because of these sentry towers that are built by Elbit and Anduril, as well as Lightpath has some exposure into that supply chain as well, because you have to run these things at night, and you need IR sensors to run them at night. So those are huge contracts for Elbit and Lightpath that there's direct exposure for.
Lightpath is on my radar, dude. I'm just waiting for the entry. 100%. It's a fucking beautiful chart.
That's another CEO I interviewed that you guys can find. Sam's a G. I like him. I'm probably gonna catch him again this summer. I'm going to try and in the next round of quarterly reports, I'm going to try and do another wave of interviews with a lot of these guys.
Somebody asked the other day, how the fuck do you get access to these CEOs, brother? Like, it's astonishing.
I'm telling people, but I kind of want to I kind of want to move into like keeping that shit proprietary, a little bit of secret sauce here.
Yeah, buddy! Hold on, let me give you a...
Sammy, you just have to contact investor relations, man.
No, that's how the old KP. That's how old people do it.
What's going on another day, another trade?
You could also try to message them on here if they're on here, or find out their contact details. Yeah.
No, okay, I'll tell you guys the deets. You got to do it like a spider monkey. You got to get. So for this particular one, the way I got in on this was I used to participate in earnings calls for Unusual Machines, like before they started piping them into Bloomberg and like all that. They would have a lot more relaxed kind of earnings calls, whereas literally like a conference call. And I was able to call in and ask like questions about production. I was able to talk to Alan on that. And then I was able to hit him up on LinkedIn and like, hey, I was the guy in the call, yada, yada, yada. And then I was able to kind of schedule interviews with Alan. And because Alan and Eric Brock from Ondas have made investments into Lightpath, Copin, and SPAI, they have all these CEOs have relationships together. So it's about like getting into a network and then networking from inside that. So when I was reaching out to Sam, I could have Alan to back me up, and when I reached out to Sam, I got into their IR firm, and their IR firm also does Copin, also does SATL, also does Almonte. So you kind of like get into an IR firm, you find out what else they got, then you kind of branch out and up from there.
There you have it, folks. Thank you so much for that fucking alpha, guys. Fucking
But I would say you also have to be able to hold a conversation with these people and maintain their interest. So
Yeah, no, I agree. Like
it's not just about finding them and asking them. It's also about like validating your value. You know.
that's definitely not my circus. I'm just a chartist, Maxi, bro. That I cannot hold a conversation when it comes to like the fundamentals of shit. I really could care less about it, but you definitely have a knack for it, dude. You definitely have a fucking knack for it.
And Velo was a combination of LinkedIn and X, and a lot of these CEOs are just starting to scratch the surface on the potential of X. So I'm working on some other ones. I have Ascent Solar booked for April 3rd. So that's going to be a big one. But my biggest challenge here is trying to get a repeating cadence, just with my own life, my kids, my family, all that stuff. So I try to do every other Friday. But I'm also doing Tuesdays where I can as well. But every other Friday, that I have a pocket on the 20th that I need to fill. I'm probably going to try and get a private firm. There's a couple companies that I want to talk to in the drone supply chain that are private that would be really interesting in kind of like mapping out the components a little further.
Crispy, all you need now is the goddamn YouTube I've been telling you about. You're set. That's it, bro. You're off to the races.
It's called a snowball. You have to have the moment. I don't want to be like hopping on YouTube and screaming into the void when I'm already starting to make progress on X. You know what I mean?
sounds
But
sounds
you
familiar.
can, like one of these days I might get to 2,000.
Fuck you. Dude, she's on her way. That's all I'm gonna say, and I'll leave it there. She's on her way, Brandon. If I had that sort of predictions, yeah.
Yeah, I probably will pivot off into YouTube at some point. Like, I have cameras, I have lighting, I have equipment for it, but it's just about X. The X spaces are such a low barrier to entry in order to build momentum.
Yeah, I know.
In terms of like building an audience, building a platform, doing interviews. You know, you don't have to worry about camera systems. You're literally just using your phone. It's a relaxed conversation. It can either be ethereal or it could be recorded, so you can take it at any level of seriousness that you want to on X, and that's where I think there's a decent amount of power. The downsides of X is like it is the place for ethereal content, whether or not you're recording it or not, because like everything that I record, like every one of my interviews, you have to kind of go to my page and know that you're looking for it and finding it, whereas YouTube will surface the content algorithmically. So if you're trying to do perennial or like evergreen content, YouTube is still king for that because it surfaces it to a broader audience on a repeating cadence. Like in terms of like if I go to Sammy's channel, I can like find all the shit that Sammy did, and if I'm like browsing something else like a month from now, okay, I'm interested in TA again, I'm going to look into something that, because I interact with Sammy's channel a month ago, it's going to surface some of his content. You know, that's the way that the algorithm works, is it's literally mapping your interests real time and also has all of your historical interests compounded into their little like digital twin of you in order to surface content as your interests like vary. Like I will, because I've been a YouTube consumer for a long period of time. So when I go back to an old rabbit hole of like, you know, like machine bending tools, it will remember that period of mine about like 7 or 8 years ago where I was really interested in metal bending tools, and it will be like, oh wait, hey, this guy watched all of this obscure Ukrainian guy's videos of like welding, like machine bending tools. This Ukrainian guy has like 5 or 6 new videos that this guy hasn't seen. I'm going to start triple feeding them those, you know what I mean? So I think the two platforms as a strategy are incredibly complementary. But if I pivot onto YouTube right now, then it would be a lot stronger for me to have a binge bank of content that I could take from my interviews, essentially take those, summarize those with AI, because AI does a decent amount of that, and then make short form content, recaps, strategies, theories, and then do videos based on those, or just take those interviews that I've accumulated, split them into audio, do like a transcript presentation, something along those lines, and then post those to YouTube as a broad chunk. So if I do launch a YouTube video, I'll have hours of content that would be bingeable out of the gates rather than starting from scratch. So that's why my strategy on X is to kind of like build up those interviews, build up that content, and then if I do deploy to YouTube, I will have a binge bank ready to go.
I used to think that way, but everyone's different. The only thing I will say is you'll always adjust as time goes on. But I'm so happy, aside from that you're gonna fucking at least start, and that's the key, man. The hardest part is just starting. Everything else just flows. So
yeah, 100%. Like, you know, you can strategize and analyze, and you're gonna get beaten by somebody who just fucking did it.
absolutely. And look, you gotta have the hate, bro. Because if you don't have fucking haters following you, you're never gonna grow. So enjoy, embrace the fucking guys that absolutely are gonna come your way and they're gonna challenge you. They're gonna talk shit about you. That's growth, brother. I'm telling you straight up. That's growth.
Why do you think I hop on all these fucking spaces with near morons half the time and just like get into arguments left and right?
Absolutely.
You know, learn from every
Once you start seeing your haters are growing, which means you are improving, and you do have more people that who likes you, and they're just feeling probably jealousy that you are raising to the top, and that's what's happening. That's why I had like over 5,000-6,000 followers. I deleted all of them because I couldn't get rid of these people attacking me nonstop. So I had to lock my entire account, but they're not gonna, bother us. We're gonna continue.
The best way
to do it, and I mean.
The best way to think about it is you gotta get them to trigger your algos, bro. Because if you don't have enough engagement, the algos won't get triggered, and that's essentially how you drive content, and you can reach out to further people. It's all about algos at the end of the day. That's why when you have like Reddit, you have like those controversy filters. Those are the ones that get the limelight. That ends up finding upvotes. It's all you gotta get these guys to fucking trigger the algos. That's all it is at the end of the day. It's all a game.
A funny thing about that, like I used to like watch a lot of content from like the maker community. You got like Jimmy DeResta, you got like Make Everything, you got a lot of those guys who are like pretty big with like woodworking, welding, like that kind of stuff, and they have a podcast together, like a few of these guys. And the way that because they're older gentlemen, that have been just doing YouTube for a long time, and they describe it as the man with the pipes down in the basement. They'd be like, oh, maybe I gotta like turn this pipe a little bit and give it a little bit more flow to this channel,
Exactly.
Just a perfect, like, the algorithm is just a man in a basement that's just like changing valves on pipes and pushing people different directions.
King is asking, okay, he said AEV Omni-Wide Radar for drones, what do you think? It's huge to me. He says AEVA Omni-Wide Radar for drones, what do you think?
I've never liked AEVA because they've just been, during all of these momentum waves, Ag Eagle has not caught a bid, and I don't know if it's like management, it's like their execution, or I've just never been interested in it. As far as like the American drone themes, like that's one I've never taken a position because I've never seen like decent, like sustained growth or execution from that company. So they could come out with something cool. They could get new management in. They could revolutionize something, but they have survived this long, so I'll give them that. But they've just never been interesting to me. Like they've had all of the advantages in the world handed to them with like Blue UAS, with like, but they focus on changing the colors of their website rather than landing contracts.
Dude, I'm gonna show you the chart on AEVA. I would highly. Just take a look at the chart, but it's right now supposedly inside a cup and handle formation. Obviously, it's in the handle phase right now, but if this thing fucking rockets, dude.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. AEVA is completely different. I take back every single thing I was talking about. I was talking about Ag Eagle, which is a different company. AEVA, I've been invested in. That's the one that that's the one that got away, that I bought like around 4 and sold in the 6s, and then it ran to fucking 30. AEVA is interesting in that basket. I would add Oust, O-U-S-T, as like another company operating in that same thing. But AEVA, yeah, that's way different than UAVS. Which I don't know why my brain made that cross, but AEVA is very interesting. And I have been in that position, but just not recently.
Full disclaimer, YouTube link is in the purple pill, guys. Everything is being recorded, so if you want to come up on stage, pull up some tickers, or just ask questions, obviously requests. Crispy's in the motherfucking house, guys. Please give him a goddamn follow. This man is full of alpha. I always pay attention to him because this guy just always has something new to bring to the fucking table, man. I love this guy. OUST, I guess this is somewhat correlated with drones, I'm assuming.
Yeah, OUST is very similar to AEVA. Like AEVA does LiDAR systems, so LiDAR-based The reason why I didn't stay long-term is I think optical is gonna kind of win out in terms of like expansion and deployment in the automotive industry. It's essentially like the Elon Musk strategy of cameras solve everything versus the Waymo strategy of having LiDAR systems. And I put more money in, I not actual money, but like in terms of like the waves of evolution, I put more stock in the camera-based approach, even though I did invest in LiDAR, and I do think that's interesting. OUST, they have built LiDAR systems for Anduril, I believe, or at least that was the speculation, but they're in the same kind of camp. But I think they're built, OUST has more of a military application set, so they're a little more interesting to me, but I'm not in either of these. I don't have positions, just because, you know, you can't take every girl to the dance.
We don't have enough money either, dude. You know how many fucking plays I want to be in right now? I just can't. It's unfortunate, man. It's so sad. Who's your favorite right now? Like in terms of like if you had during these times of geopolitical tensions in the region, what do you think is the best winner right now, in your opinion?
It's still, LightPath is still my highest confidence. Like, that's if I trim anything, it's to protect my LightPath position. But I'm up 104% on that with this slide out. They have been pretty flat in the last couple months, so I think that the opportunity is still there. But like if you look at the 1 year, like they've turned around, they're executing, they have so much potential in so many sectors. And what I like about LightPath in particular is if you look at a Venn diagram of like the entire like upcoming drone industry and space industry and everything that like might come from those markets, those addressable markets, and then you take another circle, which is like the incumbents, like the Lockheed Martins, the Leonardo DRSs, they have relationships with Elbit, like all of those. Right in that little cat's eye, LightPath has firm exposure to both the incumbents and the disruptors. And so that's why it's the most interesting to me, particularly with the NGSRI missile contract, which is Lockheed Martin versus Raytheon. If Lockheed gets this, boom, LightPath is like doubling their fucking market cap overnight.
And
I'll give you a ticker that you may like it, which is kind of similar to the companies that you guys are talking about. Have you heard HSAI, Hesai Group? They also focus on LiDAR technologies and autonomous driving.
HSAI?
Yep.
HSAI. I'm just going to pull up this chart.
Is it Chinese?
That's a good question.
KP would know that.
Yeah, founded by Yi Fan Li.
I don't invest in China. I'm out. No China in my portfolio. Not gonna do it.
You know what?
Listen, China has been actually ahead of us in terms of technology and AI. Wake the fuck up, Trump.
But if we get into
So Chinese semiconductor companies have actually been rallying. So if you want to get better exposure to China instead of FXI or KWeb, everybody knows that, right? Look at ASHR.
Move there, you turncoat.
So ASHR, when it comes down to international, has been actually leading U.S., right? So instead of having fixed income exposure outside of a few areas.
Oh, I like KP talks about ETFs.
So ASHR, so it's the CSI 300. It has some of those semiconductor companies because supply chain wise anyways, they're still going to be reliant on China, right? Whether it's for the germanium, the gallium nitride, even a lot of these defense systems, right? You're going to have to
invest in chalcogenide, my friend.
Amen.
So you're going to have some exposure to China anyways, somewhere down the line.
My perspective on like Chinese investments is like a lot of American like capital markets are being push towards divestment from China. And so I think there's a higher growth potential in the long run of these companies that are reducing their dependence upon Chinese supply chains, along with the NDAA requirements and FCC requirements, because I'm primarily in aerospace and defense. So that's why I don't take any Chinese positions, because even though like in broader semiconductors, especially in memory, like a lot of Chinese memory is going to start flooding the markets. But I still, for defense applications in aerospace, I don't touch anything that's China. And the reason why I haven't invested in Amprius heavily is because they've been slow to pivot to American manufacturing. They are starting to, but they're primarily relying upon their Chinese partners, as well as their strategies to expand in Korea. And long-term geopolitically, I think we need to produce these things in America. So that's where I'm putting my bags.
I fucking love it. Light path target. It's a stupid number, but there's a clean. Hold up, I'll tell you right now. It is looking at $92. Light path, dude. I love this company. $92.
Yeah, it's been consolidating pretty decently in this like above 10, below 15 range, or below 13 even.
Yeah, I'm gonna post a chart soon, but this fucking company, dude, this chart is. Oh. Anyway.
All of these companies, once I started holding these shares and I was just out of patience to hold them, I just sold them and they just went crazy. Okay, great.
Yeah. No, I mean, they got the, what's it called, Crispy? That's still in my mind. The geranium, right? And then they're moving to glass.
It's black diamond.
Black diamond.
Chalcogenide. So it's a germanium-free, it's a substitute for germanium. But they acquired Amorphous, which is a company in Texas, who literally wrote, the guy who runs that company literally wrote the book on chalcogenide applications for infrared systems. And that gives them the capacity to build these sensors up to 17-inch diameter, and that unlocks space.
Jesus Christ.
They also got 8 new proprietary formulas, along with the amorphous solids. 3 of those were created in conjunction with Lockheed Martin. So that acquisition right there, they just took one Boomer Lab, just bought another Boomer Lab, and got all the contract exposure from it. So they're going to be a lot more interesting. I don't play the action on this one. I do have some long-dated options for them.
I feel LPTH, the long-dated options are actually concentrated on January 1527 on $15 calls. If you check those.
That's exactly my exposure.
Okay, that's you. I'm looking at yours.
Hey guys, quick question for the panel. Does anybody have like from fundamental point of view on SMR? It's a nuclear play.
The nuclear, I think nuclear does have a lot of potential. I like some of the private players in that space that seem to be moving a lot faster. But I think solar is going to be the stopgap for nuclear. That's why I'm in TE myself, just because of the turbine production delays, the back orders for turbines. Natural gas, coal, nuclear, they all rely on turbines. And if we're talking about a future market where this turbine is going to continue to be an issue, the alternatives of companies that are building systems this year is going to be in solar. And I think a lot of these companies are looking at solar and battery as a stopgap to get them through the natural gas, like, I hate to say bottlenecks because it's so fucking overused right now, but choke points, which is the new phrase everybody's using. But like the turbine production is going to be an issue for a lot of these companies, and solar can get them through to nuclear deployments in larger scale, in modular reactors, or whatever that looks like in 2028. We still need to get there in 2028, 29, 2030, when those technologies are going to be like built at scale. Like natural gas is everybody who can get a natural gas plant right now will. Everybody who can't or who wants to build faster than the approval rates can do, if they can hit they're going to probably be looking at solar. And that's why I like TE myself. That's, even though it's a smaller position, that's the thesis behind TE, is that solar will be deployed.
So Ghosty on SMR, right, on new scale, right? They're the one that got the Department of Energy grant for Rebellion. So their scalability is definitely going to be an issue. So Westinghouse, it went and it was acquired by CCJ and Brookfield Asset Management in a 51-49 joint venture. They probably have some of the closest in SMR technology that's already being used in Canada. You could take a look at some South Korean names. Japan's not as much into it, okay? But yeah, you're gonna have an energy mix is gonna be different. It's not gonna be able to be, yeah.
No, thank you guys. I mean, I was only looking for SMR just for a quick swing trade, not mainly for a long term hold. But still, I wanted to like.
But fundamentally, these companies, if you look at that, that's what your question is, right? So if you take a look at the fundamentals, right? So their ability to generate revenue is going to take that time. The scaling aspect of it. So long-term contracts are going to be intention, at least for the next 2 years.
And another question for the panel, guys. Like, I've been noticing a lot of changes on regulation for the biotech. Like now the FDA, the Macari guy, the new commissioner, like he now for new drug discovery they require like instead 2 big trials, like 1 big trial. Like there's a lot of new, for example, Google acquired a company called DeepMind that they created a tool called AlphaFold that predict protein structures. My question with all of that is like, and for example, like RFK, like is loosening regulation on peptides. Do you guys think we could potentially get like a hype cycle on biotech and new drug discovery, like maybe in 2027?
And whoever's gonna answer that, I wanna also when we're done with this topic, let's talk about HIMS, because that's the fucking ticker.
I would say yes, but when? For that whole AlphaFold thing, I'd recommend people watch The Thinking Game. It's all about DeepMind, all about Demis, all about like everything that went into his history, all about Google's investment. That's an excellent little documentary. It's free on YouTube. It's The Thinking Game.
Thank you.
But that one, it will give you a lot of background into DeepMind and their growth and their strategy. So that's an excellent watch. But like I don't invest in biotech myself just because it's too binary. But I do think there's going to be a massive wave coming as these AIs get to the level where they can do more actual work. And definitely DeepMind's deep in the mix there. They got the Nobel Prize for their protein folding. They won that competition like handedly, blew it out of the park after trying and failing, getting better and better. But yeah, The Thinking Game, very interesting. Another one for space, watch Wild Space. It's on HBO, I believe, but that follows Rocket Lab and Planet Labs and Astra in the early days of the space economy of like that's another excellent watch.
Ghosty, what do you know about HIMS, brother?
The Eli Lilly beef got squashed, and so they ran.
I heard, dude. HIMZ EDF, guys. HIMZ. It's trading at $1.80. Last I checked on Friday last night. So if you guys are looking to get into HIMS, guys, that fucking chart, and I'll post it in the nest, but holy shit, that's a bump and run reversal setup, and those bump and run setups are absolutely the number one patterns in the entire market. So I highly suggest if they break out a certain neckline, that fucking chart's gonna run. If that news is sticky, right? We don't know, but if
do you know the details? Just curious of the MVO, the news that came out last night. Do you know the details of that deal for the GLP-1s?
Not me. I wouldn't know.
I don't myself. It's not my monkey, not my circus. But I just like absorb like the headlines as people are discussing it and stuff along those lines. But from my like toddler understanding of it, it's just the Eli Lilly HIMS. They're agreeing to like a partnership and they're kind of like squashing that beef. So it takes a lot of uncertainty out of HIMS, and that was enough to like. And it's been beaten down so fucking hard that it's just kind of like they push that spring. And any type of a catalyst like this could be able to kind of like rocket it back up. But yeah, I'm not.
Because from a short float perspective, I mean, I think it was like 40% short float, and this is the same type of movement from a technical basis that I'm potentially watching on SMR. Like just something posted actually. That's but not
Maybe one of the reasons the HIMS were selling off because of they had They had some issues, legal issues, dispute over this weight loss drugs with Novo Nordisk, which was resolved now. So this could be maybe, yeah.
So Hims has like their generic compounded GLP-1, and it was attributing to like 60% of their revenue growth. And when the FDA came down and said they can't do that anymore, for good reason, there was a lot of people shorting this name into the ground. And then it came into, this area down here. And if this is some type of resolution to that where they can get back to some type of growth, then yes, two things. I mean, one, maybe there's a little bit of a turnaround here, but two, shorts are going to cover. So I kind of goes with that little bump and run theory as well, is that the reason people were staying comfortably short in this name was because their growth basically because of the legal challenge, basically just got nixed. So if they're now finding an alternative or a solution, a lot of those shorts are going to cover down here. I agree with some of those.
I posted the chart on Hims, guys. This is a powerful fucking chart. I mean, it's just Google bump and run reversals. This dumb fucking chart can get to $40 again. You just got to break that neckline. But holy, these patterns are so rare to find, and when they rip, they rip. So keep an eye.
I'll tell you one that is ripping right now. Look at Spotify.
Spotify.
Yep. The one that everyone listens to music, but no one wonders what's happening with the Spotify.
We'll take a look at
the upside. It started selling off last 4 weeks. Conspirative green candles.
I'll pull it up. I just want to really focus on Hims for 2 seconds. I think Blonde. I think she has additional information. I don't know if she's on right now, but I think she did some homework last night. Was it Blonde or somebody else?
I love the Blonde Capital and BlackRock. She has a blonde account and a black account.
Those are the same people. Okay.
Yeah.
Or maybe she didn't want me to call it out, but I think the Blonde Capital is the serious account. So that's where we're going to talk finance and markets.
Absolutely.
If I'm blowing up your spot, feel free to squash me. Sorry, Blonde.
She's gonna kick your ass, bro. 100%.
Yeah, people recognize people through their voice. Everyone is
probably catch me outside.
She's not too far from you either, bro. She's gonna knock down your door. What's going on, Margin?
Hey, I just wanted to add something to the discussion on Hims and Novo Nordisk.
I would love that.
Novo had a lawsuit against Hims. They withdrew the lawsuit, and now they are going to sell their products, their drugs through Hims. So it's a
I was
huge
probably
plus.
saying it wrong. I was saying Eli, but yeah, it's the Novo.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Correct. Yeah. So they went from a legal battle, which they're still the FDA stuff is still going on, but
No. But now they are selling Novo Nordisk drugs through. That's okay. That's perfect.
I like that. I don't think it's just like a crazy strong catalyst like completely turns around the whole business. Yeah. But I do think it's a medium-term solution to a problem. Yeah. You have two companies. Novo Nordisk has also been absolutely brutalized. If you look at that chart, honestly, that's another chart that's very interesting to me right now in through all this. If they're finding Novo Nordisk actually may be the bigger beneficiary here. Everybody hears the headline for Hims. Hims is a more popular name overall. But if Novo Nordisk is getting distribution through Hims, like subscription model network, this could be a bigger net positive, I think, for Novo Nordisk that needs a turnaround as well. You got two companies that are going through issues trying to turn around, and they're partnering up. So, yes.
Yeah.
But I actually
Hims
would look.
just has more torque, though, right?
Correct.
Hims
Yeah.
has
It has
more
more. Yes, more shorts, more in the near term. Yes, the Hims I think is the better opportunity on the trade side of things. In the medium term, I think Novo Nordisk could be the better beneficiary of this. And honestly, trades. If you look at the chart on that one, I think you'll like the Novo Nordisk potential turnaround as well.
I posted this chart last night, guys. Take a look at the NES. It is an absolute support, not financial advice, but I like the setup here. And if this news is going to propel this company, it's going to finally break out of this downward channel. Again, post it in the NES and fucking start ripping, because I think NVO would probably will benefit this long term, right?
That's my thesis. I think like from the chart perspective, I like Hims. I like that there's enough retail interest in it, that there's enough shorts that are going to cover for like a big move off the gate. But I think if you're looking for I think my thesis is stronger that Novo Nordisk is going to be the better catalyst beneficiary of this. And that chart setup, I think, looks just as good with a stronger catalyst to it for a sustained move.
And also, Novo Nordisk is the serious person in the room. So, like, in terms of like, if you're taking like an investment out of this category, like, I would feel much more safer with money behind Novo Nordisk than I would with Hims, just considering Hims management and Hims like fundamentals.
Right, and if you're considering Novo, consider the 2x ETF, NVOX.
NVOX? Alright, NVOX.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Also
fucking...
worth noting.
I hear you like cocaine. Would you try some crack?
This is only a $170 billion company, 2% versus like 2 billion company, 2% there's a big difference. So you could make more money on Hims.
Yeah,
Okay,
in the short term, yes.
On NGO you're on the safer side, I guess.
Actually,
but when it comes to trading, maybe options on a shorter term, sour swings, probably Hims will be give you a better move. Looks like.
right. Actually, maybe Novo Nordisk should have bought Hims.
Yeah, honestly,
I would also.
that's a distribution chain for them.
Yes.
I would also mention Novo Nordisk, because it trades overseas, your daily candles, similar to the Chinese stocks, your daily candles can look a little bit different. Sometimes it's worth charting a weekly candle instead because of the gappy nature of the foreign traded stocks that trade on the U.S. exchange.
Could there be like some like momentum arbitrage there by like watching the foreign stocks a little more closer and as you're playing those candles?
There could be what I always advise people as far as just a TA perspective, not financial advice, of course. When you look at it's the same way, like if you look at Chinese stocks, like you see these gappy kind of hard to read charts on a daily, even a 4 hour at times, just because most of the trading is happening overnight. If you go to your weekly candles, you get a much better picture. I'm more of a daily candle type of guy, but if you go to the weekly charts, it's a much clearer picture on names like Novo Nordisk, on names like obviously Baba, Baidu, those Chinese names. There's some other like ASML is another one out of Europe that looks a lot better. Yes. Yes. Any of your international stocks, even if they trade on the U.S. exchange, if they're in a different time zone, so like this doesn't apply to like Mercado Libre or like Nubank or some of your Latin America ones. This is like purely Asia and European charts. The daily charts can look very discombobulated at times because of all the gaps in there. The weekly chart helps clean that up a lot.
I appreciate that, Alpha. What's going on, guys? My YouTube link stream. This is all recorded. It's in the Purple Pill. What is going on, Shaw? What's going on, baby?
Hey guys, I'll take a break. Thank you.
Have a good day.
What's up, everybody?
Good to see you, brother.
I'm doing a Novo Nordisk chart now.
Let's
It's
fucking go.
It's literally a disc. So there's that.
Guys, post your fucking charts. Everyone can eat here. I'm not selfish. Post your charts, guys. Fucking post them. There's a lot of food to go around.
I just wanna say it. My recent like highest conviction short is on ONDS right now. Like ONDS has been on a bear flag channel below all-time high resistance, and actually we had a contract news on Friday, and that contract news made it have like a big spike, like 11% spike, touching the trend line resistance of the channel, and then we dumped. So I'm expecting like in the next couple of weeks, like
The dump was the second wave of contract news where none of their company investments got selected for the drone dominance. So a lot of the drone names got hit on that one because primarily privates went. But yeah, I'll fade that position. I'll take the other side.
Yeah, I did say we need a B with these contracts with Ondas to actually save this potential downward pressure that we might see in the distant future. All I'm saying is,
Christy Gnome's getting booted out of the DHS, and if we get more of a middle ground admin on the DHS, we could see a reopening on there. And those are the real contracts. The Department of Homeland Security, if you're looking at counter drone, that's what Ondas is really competing for. So the Christy Gnome news for me is kind of bullish because we might get a reopening of DHS because a lot of people are forgetting that the Department of Homeland Security is still fucking shut down.
oh shit, is it really? Oh fuck. I didn't know
So
that.
contract momentum out of that particular department has been stalled for a while. So if we do, like, that could be a coiled spring as far as the counter drone for World Cup, for so many things that are going to be happening very soon that are going to need deployed
Yes.
drone
Okay.
defenses.
Yes. NVO is bigger. Yeah, King said long term, and yeah, everybody agrees. Switching back to NOVO, I kind of forgot this comment. Yes, NOVO is technically much better long term. Now, anything can happen, but yeah, I do agree with that.
What do you guys think about UNH? Because I was seeing that UNH on a monthly basis on a long-term chart, it only went below the 200 SMA back in 28. So I mean, we tagged that the EMA, I mean that SMA, but I mean I'm just watching if we go below again. If we go below it, I think it could be an amazing long-term entry.
United Health Group.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Check the monthly chart and go back to 200. Fuck my English, like 2009, and it left some wicks like below. So I'm seeing if we can get below again to scoop some.
I see it. Well, somebody was gonna say something. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that chart is still broken. That chart needs a lot of repair. Either needs to go lower or needs to reclaim something. Like it is in no man's land. I mean, if you're a position type of investor or trader, position trader, like I could understand the thesis of building something here, but that chart needs a lot of work or a full breakdown or a reclaim. Either one. To me, it's no man's land. Just in my analysis.
I don't know. I totally agree. I mean, you're talking UNH, right?
Correct, UNH.
Yeah. No. I totally agree with you. I'm expecting. I mean, I hopefully get a flush, and then if we get a flush, like I'll analyze in that moment, like how price action behaves. But yeah, I think we could get the flush down.
You might get another M pattern on here as well. I'm actually looking at it right now as we speak. Yeah, this thing looks like 886. It's probably gonna retest 229 again, and if it fails that, 230. If it fails that, yeah, this thing's gonna get to Pound Town.
That's my biggest fear. Like I'm not in the trading anywhere there.
Right.
But just from the charts that I've run on that, it looks like the highest probabilistic move is to the downside further, unless it can reclaim back 300 plus again.
I agree. Midpoint sucks, man. Well, oh, by the way,
it's also a stock that, just real fast, it's also a stock that's just caught up in a lot of midpoints with the health industry, the insurance industry, and is the administration going to continue to go against these guys, or is it going to eventually find favor with these guys? Right now, they're being used as a pawn, kind of in a negative sense, so that there's not like really a positive catalyst to go with a chart setup.
You know which one is going to get a fucking L right now? Oracle. If you guys see the headline Friday, OpenAI, contracts ended. Once that news hit the tape, fucking APLD, specifically Irene, took a huge L. Huge.
Sammy, that's a good topic. Go ahead, Chris.
Just real quick. I don't share my TA because it's very proprietary. I use complex, like skulls-based algorithms and Wyckoff patterns. I posted my light paths chart up in this. Like, I don't always do this, you guys. So this is a very unique share for me. But the chart is up there. Not financial advice. Definitely, you can only get 3 mortgages on your house. So tread fucking lightly there. But that's my TA.
I love this fucking chart. Look at that. Dude.
BP always says that we only draw crayon lines. Now I believe it.
This is literally the chart squiggler fucking chart right here. This is literally what Mike Alfred shits on us for. Please send this to Mike Alfred, Crispy. Just fucking send it to
That is pretty crispy. That is awesome. Mike Alfred Fatwa.
Oh my god, this is why he hates us, dude. This is why he calls us chart squigglers, bro. And I love it. I fucking love every second of
I
it.
actually, that dude, like, I had a beef with him because I was talking, bro, I'm long term mega bullish on iron, bro. But short term, this shit is going down, you know? And I blocked the guy first, you know? He's so immature. Like, I blocked the guy first, and then I found out, and then he blocked me because I blocked him, you know? Like, he was constantly, like, watching me, you know?
It's,
So I was
it's
talking
just a
shit
gr-
about
it's
iron.
a grift taking they just whatever is hot among retail is what they jump into, and then it's just bull posting, book
Yeah.
But the overall. Oh, sorry. Go
I
ahead.
posted, no, I just posted my iron. I posted this a while back. This one was one of my iron charts, and also like in that analysis, I didn't include comparing iron versus then the X, which is the QQQs without financials. And man, that looks ugly. I'm telling you, like this is going down probabilistically.
When trades kind of started opening up there with the news headlines are actually kind of interesting here with the data center. I am not super excited about the data center stuff right now. I think it got way ahead of itself, but the headlines are what's kind of driving the narrative here. So you had the headline that came out first that said Oracle they're pulling this project in Texas. That was the original headline. Then there was a follow-up headline that it was actually, it's not that they're pulling the data center plan, but they are actually, there's an expansion that they are putting on pause right now, but the original build is still on track. So that was the two headlines that came out. But the bigger read-through that the market was reacting to is saying, okay, is this going to start happening across the board for data centers? Are we going to start seeing like a little bit of a slowdown of, hey, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's build what we've got, current projects, complete those, see where we're at, and then start to, make more future plans. So I think that's kind of, because you even saw like a reaction to like Bloom Energy was reacting to that same headline because they're involucrated in all this, in the energy side of things for Oracle and that Texas project. But the project is still going on. It's the expansion of the project was the clarification headline that came out about 20 minutes after.
I love it, man. And we're if you guys are curious, we're posting all our charts as people talk. I got mine, I got Ghosty, everybody else's. Please post your charts up here. Yeah, I got a target at $20 at Irene. Let me just double check. I got target at $20. There is an EDF inverse ticker. I think it's called IRENZ. Hold on, I might be wrong. EDF 2x leverage to the short side. Let me just confirm that. Double check.
While you're digging that up, let me just give you my thoughts on this whole energy and data center kind of build out. My position for a long time has been that the IRENs, the Nebiuses, the Wolves, the Ciphers, like all these little neo scalers are essentially structured bag holders for this kind of like movement, like this kind of like spend. So you're going to see a lot of these companies that are trying to get these power purchasing agreements on deck, which is kind of at the bottom of this like little mess. And there's been some shifts in terms of like Trump trying to get them to set up their own little like microgrids and all these other elements of it. But the power purchasing agreements that the Bitcoin miners had in place is really what these companies want. And these guys are able to offshore a lot of their liabilities, a lot of their debts onto these neo-scalers as they're building up their own internal capacity to scale their own data centers. So they don't have to take as much risk onto their own books. They can deploy that risk over to the Nebius, and also through the NVIDIA partnerships, they can share that risk across a broader ecostructure without having so much toxicity on their own books. And as soon as the flip of profitability in these AI things kind of gets switched, like we're seeing Anthropic making good money, OpenAI's making good money, they can essentially either leave them out in the fucking cold or scoop them up for the assets. But one of the main catalysts that not a lot of people paid attention to is the Alphabet acquisition of a company called Intersect. I would recommend you guys look into that one because they didn't buy a Bloom Energy, they didn't buy a Fluency, they bought a company called Intersect for almost $5 billion for their data center power needs. So you're going to see a lot of these deals where like your favorite like momentum battery player, your favorite momentum like energy provider, or your neoscalers, that you're just ready for them to get taken to the dance when like these companies are going to have a lot better deals with a lot broader view of the market, to where they're not going to take something that's already ran up 60%. They're going to grab a private player that gives them a much better copy paste strategy to their already existing spend out.
Crispy, real quick, when I'm, kind of like squaring all the news headlines and stuff, and we saw that like summit with Trump and like all the big AI players, the push is going to be that they have to provide their own power and not take away from the collectives. Where I think you get the re-rating is, one, I am interested to see the CapEx spend that we've been told by, Google, Meta, and all these other big players, these hyperscalers. How much of that have they allocated to this, or are they going to have to reallocate some of these funds or add to them? Like that part I'm going to be monitoring, because I'm curious how much of the grid and power side of things that they currently are putting these funds towards. The other thing that I think could be the opportunity is the re-rating of the grid stuff itself, like these the people, the picks and shovels that are going to be building out the new grids, the suppliers for those, the these mini electric stations and stuff that they're basically going to put on, because like Google signed and committed to adding net new energy to the grid, as well as 100% footing the bill for all energy that they use, so that it's not like one of these like county or state co-ops where everyone kind of pays based on usage of everyone. And I think the opportunity is going to be within those picks and shovels. I think you're going to see some re-ratings over there. So those are the two pieces that I'm kind of currently. I don't have a strong thesis, or I have a thesis. I don't have a strong like beneficiary yet. Those are the two things I'm monitoring closely.
Yeah, and I agree completely. It's gonna like the real winners in this one are not gonna be like they're not gonna be the brogue shoes on Wall Street. They're gonna be the muddy boots in Texas. Like in terms of who's gonna actually get, because you think if you got $1 trillion of AI spend, and a lot of that's going to go to NVIDIA, a lot of that's going to go to Marvell, a lot of that's going to go to Amphenol, a lot of that's going to go to Coherent, to Corning. But like when it comes to pouring the concrete, putting up the structures, building the utility level energy lines, the transformers, the structures, there's a lot of companies that are going to get a significant amount of that. But then you have the power purchasing agreements, and also this being a net positive on the grid is going to overall add to the strain of the grid and add to like the capacity of the interconnection of the grid. So there's a lot of stuff there, and this is not called TPG, right? And the energy and grid sustainability narrative that I used to follow very closely for decades. But the interesting thing about this is Google already has like the information and the data about renewables versus, LNG versus coal versus nuclear versus geothermal. If you're looking at geothermal assets, you will want to take a look at a Google Earth project that maps all of the geothermal aspects across the planet and their like feasibility. They know every single option when it comes to power, and they primarily don't give a shit if Trump likes solar or not, or if Trump likes wind or not. They're going to go for what can be deployed now to meet our goals and meet our long-term goals as well, because they're not forgetting about ESG as much as it's gone out of favor. They still, if solar can be deployed faster, solar with the correct grid through Intersect and also through like the battery backup systems, if they can deploy that today, and meet Trump's hurdles of like, you know, we gotta be net positive on the grid, you gotta not be a drain on the taxpayer because we have midterms coming up and we don't want these prices to go up. All that shit aside, they're gonna deploy solar if it makes the most sense on their balance sheet. And every single one of these companies doesn't really care about whether we're gonna be fucking clean, beautiful coal or natural gas. If they can't buy the turbines, but they can buy the solar cells, they're gonna deploy the solar cells. But the other part of this is like in the Northeast, you have, I think it's New Hampshire or New Jersey, that everybody was going all up and out arms and shutting down these data center builds because of it was raising their prices on their power bills. But they're forgetting that the hurricane knocked out the infrastructure, and the power bills are rising primarily due to the rebuild of all these transformers and lines because of the hurricane that had nothing to do with the data centers. They just saw their bill go up. Data centers is in the news. We're gonna go to our, you know, our city hall, and we're gonna go to these meetings, and we're gonna try and stop it. So there's conflicting narratives on both sides, and I do think that this, like, being a net positive on the grid is the smarter move. And from a PR, from an electability, from every avenue of that. But the question is that a lot of people are pursuing, okay, where's that money going to go? Because their CapEx spend has been allocated up to $1 trillion here, and a lot of that's going to be pushed, more of that's going to be pushed towards energy infrastructure. So I do think you're on the right area. It's just not something that I invest in or map out, but it's really interesting, and I really think the only play that I have is really solar, just because I think it's kind of like a fade the narrative kind of a situation that regardless of what, solar makes the most sense until nuclear is available, and nuclear is pretty far out.
So you also have geothermal with Ormont Technologies.
Yeah, CapEx spend, your permitting for geothermal, there's a lot of more hurdles compared to slapping solar cells on the ground.
So just to enter into the mix, and when it comes to the grid, you want to focus on certain respective companies, and some are not based in the United States. Yeah, you do have a few out there like Emerson Electric. You do have Mitsubishi Electric, Schneider's out there. Yeah, there's some ETFs for that too, so you can like bundle them all together.
Please, no Chinese companies. That's all I recommend. I just don't want.
So you have Generac too, which is on the back end with backup systems as well.
And Caterpillar. The funny thing about Caterpillar is their turbine division is called Solar Power. But yeah, look at Caterpillar and Solar.
Dude, Caler, whatever the fuck, CAT, absolutely monster chart. This thing does not know a pullback.
Oh, and that thing, that used to be the narrative was Caterpillar's exposure to China, but it turned out to be kind of bogus.
It's ridiculous.
They already deleveraged, yeah. So
I always love to say Caterpillar has a solar company. It burns natural gas. It's called Solar Turbines.
So you also have Train Technologies when it comes down to cooling systems. You're gonna have that as well.
Then you also have Comfort, and you also have the Schneider's in that one. There's another one, Comfort Systems. I'm trying to think of another, because like we also have, okay, you have like the actual equipment, you have the lines, but then you have, I think, another interest. I can't remember the name of this one. Somebody told me about it like a few days ago, but it was really interesting for me. But the grid controls and automation companies. Like if you're looking for something high torque, that might be an interesting sector to look into. Like who's getting these contracts that are going to add the monitoring and the control and the orchestration piece? Because if they're building new grids, they're not going to build grids the same way that they built them in the 70s, 80s, 90s, back to the like 30s and 40s, which is what a lot of these are replacing. They're going to be looking at, okay, what's the high-tech shit that we can implement right now? And I think a lot of that's going to be silicon carbide. A lot of that's going to be automation and controls, so your programmable logic controllers, your HMIs, your execution systems. That would be a cool sector that I would say that might have some good torque here, but I just don't know it well enough.
I do see Caterpillar pulling back at 417, by the way. Just a heads up.
So most of the grid is like 40 years old. Energy demand is definitely going to grow. It's not going to go away. And you're going to want to focus on certain areas as well. not just the Northeast, right? Texas, you got the Southeast, right? Enbridge is drawing down even new nat gas lines up from Canada, right? They've talked about their partnership with Toyota and with Amazon. So, what if you focus on the infrastructure, right? There's some ETFs for infrastructure as well. And I would also focus on global infrastructure because they're not just building data centers in the US. They're also building in Asia quite a bit.
They're also doing unplanned scheduled maintenance of a lot of like data centers across like the Middle Eastern region. Like there's a lot of unscheduled maintenance calls that are being operated by Iranian technicians. So be wary of that as well.
100%.
Yeah, and then the West Coast as well. Yeah.
A couple of tickers, just in case anybody wants a couple tickers to look for. My buddy Stock Talk has been big on this, researching the power grid theme. ENS is one of his favorites. It's already run quite a bit, but ITRI and PLPC are the other two that he's presented that I've listened to his thesis on, that I really like, and I've got those on my list of research personally as well. But ITRI, that's the one I was thinking of. I think I heard it from ITRI, correct. Yeah. And then that PLPC, was the one I was trying to think of for controls and microgrids tech. Yes, because like essentially one of those, I think it's that one. Essentially when you look at who does all like the metering and stuff for grids and for all these power supply areas, and they have like a 90% monopoly in that area, and so all this money is going to go basically to their bottom line.
Yeah, myself and Nikoski. Yeah, myself and Nikoski have been on this since like 2021. on grid infrastructure, there's an ETF, GRID.
What's his real quick? What's his thesis on ITRI? If you can just give me the TLDR.
It's pretty much what I explained, but I forgot the ticker. So your controls, your monitoring, your metering, like they're the people involved. I don't want to say choke point or bottleneck, but they're the ones who are going to catch those bags.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find a write-up he did on it publicly.
Okay. There's like, I don't know. I was going to say something about him, but I like him. Just overall, he does his homework from what it sounds like. So.
He's usually in, like in terms of like my investment like strategy, I don't want to say that it's the same as his, but like he does a lot of the same thesis that I have. Like there's a lot of overlap, but he's more in larger caps than me. I go for like pennies and small caps and stuff like that. But like the whole American onshoring, manufacturing, energy, like we are simpatico in that one. So I can I don't doubt his performance because I've been like sidechained in a few of the names that he's been in. Like when he ran Kratos, I was in Kratos as well. So like I saw what it did to my book. But like, yeah, I don't fade on Stock Talk at all. I don't listen to him every day, but I'll try and catch him when I can.
There's one.
I'll just add, I know he's can be polarizing in some circles for different reasons, whether it's the debate side, how he comes across, things like that. But I know him personally, so like outside of all those things, he does invest very different than I do. But he's very researched and the performance is there, and I can verify it. So yeah, and his charting, I like his charting style as well. Like, but like, does he? Am I tripping, or do you think he looks like Andrew Schultz?
That's a left field commentary.
Stock Talk. Yeah, I can Stock Talk next to Andrew Schultz. Jesus Christ, he's an Indian doppelganger. Like an Indian Andrew Schultz. I could see that. Yeah, exactly, absolutely. Man. I saw him on a mixed stream. I'm like, holy shit, that's Andrew Schultz in a shitty room.
Holy shit, that was so left comment, bro.
I'm gonna have to text him. I won't invoke anybody, but I'm gonna have to. You can call me out. You can call me out. No, it's fine. It's just that is funny. I'll see him before too long. I'm gonna have to bring that up.
Yeah, his growth. I'm looking at his dude. He's growing like exponentially.
I mean, if he keeps working hard at it, if he just keeps like trying in the system, he might get up to like 4,000 or 5,000 subscribers, and maybe even his portfolio can already.
You know what I like about him, dude? He gets a lot of fucking shit. And again, it goes back to like when you want to grow your channel, when you get into this business, bro, you're gonna have a shit ton of haters, a shit ton of shit talkers, and that's what growth is.
But the thing is, like, yeah, like Chishbol and Schmuckatelli and all those guys, like, just haranguing Stock Talk. He hopped in there and he shot the shit and he, like, backed up his plays, he backed up his performance, and he, like, talked through. And by the end of that, like an hour and a half into that, like, you know, dive bar fucking conversation on a Jose space, they were just fucking buds and talking picks, and then you go like a week or two later, you get like the same like people's just like still talking shit on Stock Talk. After like I was there during that conversation when he hopped in, I was listening in and hearing him like, you know, like jump into the fisticuffs along with everybody else, back up his performance, and then they end up freaking talking tickers and then going into investments. But then weeks later, they're still like, oh, you know, the high pitched voice.
Right.
But like, yeah, I got a lot of respect for him after that, you know.
Yeah.
100%. I was in there. What's up, Sammy? Great YouTube earlier today. It's nice for people to lock in, see that. Whether you like chart squigglers or not, you fucking watch that and you learn one thing or two. It's helpful, extremely helpful.
Thank you for that, RR. Yeah, for Stock, I mean, look, it was great marketing. At the end of the day, I'm sure he got a bunch of new followers and a bunch of new subscriptions. Listen, I don't knock the hustle. I respect people that are doing something totally out of the realms of 9 to 5, and I respect that shit, bro. You know, again.
I learned a lot from the Stock Talk guy when I first started trading, because that guy talks nonstop and he teaches a lot. Okay, he's like I was lecturing things, and I did follow some of the things. It was always at the corner of my mind, especially for new, beginners. He mentions a lot of tips. He gives a lot of good, tips, and he's always out there. He shows up. He's always on time. When it comes to, any economic metrics are coming out, anything's coming out, he's like literally on top of it. So whether he is making it or not, it seems like, well, he's very much involved, and he only talks about markets. The other guys, I've seen it. There's no reason to, attack people who are growing.
Exactly. No, we want people to attack us, GK. That's how you trigger the algos. If you don't have people on the opposite end of the coin, the algos won't get triggered. That's how you have growth in any business. You want the fucking people to talk shit about you. It's the only way. And I yield the floor.
I'm with you, Trades.
Then we have to do something like hack to then we'll talk about it.
Well, there's extreme cases and everything.
If no one's questioning you, no one's like, we're talking about Stock Talk right now. Do you know how many people are probably going to look at his fucking page right now? This is the type of controversy in any business or any endeavors you guys get into. You need the fucking haters. It's inevitable.
What are you getting so excited about?
I love this. I love these conversations, baby. Go ahead.
Trades when I first
He's like, I love my haters. I want to send them thank you cards.
The funny thing is, Sammy is saying that this space right now is going to have an impact on Stock Talk's numbers.
Let's go, baby.
Hey, Sammy,
that's the funny part.
Sammy, the two things. One, the haters thing is when I first joined your space this afternoon and I agree. You need to, like, whether you're in a stream or public setting, whatever, you need those for two reasons. One, like you said, triggers the algo. You know you're doing something right when people start hating on you, because it's just human nature to always, try to hate on people. For whatever reason, people love to do that. And if you've got any extra haters, you can also send them my way. I would love to have some more myself. And then the second point would be, we need, I know, I need to be, I enjoy it though. I enjoy control. But I'll say this, the second thing is, we need it because when anybody presents a thesis, it needs to be challenged, because you need to be able, like, everyone that creates a thesis, you need to be challenged so that you have to stand on it, because when you can stand on it, and when you're forced to stand on it, then that's how you figure out how strong it is, or if you need to go back and research more and do more work. So, like, it's just healthy literally for everyone.
It's how you find your blind spots. Like, there's been a lot of times when I've been in a play, and then somebody will challenge the play, and be like, well, did you even look at the pipe offerings at the $11 level? Like, oh shit, well now I need to look at the pipe offerings at the $11 level. You know what I mean? Like, you find your blind spots, and you're able to either grow or challenge your own conviction.
Absolutely. Well fucking said.
Well said, guys. And by the way, Sammy, the ticker you were looking for is IREC.
IREC.
Yeah, IREC. The 2 times short iron ETF.
Thank you for that. Yeah, I appreciate it. Oh, Velo, put Velo on your radar, guys. This fucking thing. I know Crispy's been talking about this, but I just took a second look at this ticker. We're above a macro 236, 1056. The longer you stay above the 1056, there's a 80% chance it can get to my 382 at 36.47. Not financial advice. I'm not a professional. Please seek one out. Anyway, $36 is a target for this fucking thing.
Real quick on Bell, that's another CEO that I interviewed. You guys can find that. Search on my page. I have a lot of confidence in his ability as a fucking gangster when it comes to being an operator of a business like this, because he saw exactly what was wrong with that industry segment, and he's attacking it head on. They were building precious systems. They were overspending. They did not know what business they were operating. They were trying to focus on being the best technology and selling these machines. He came in there and just completely shuffled the deck and be like, no, you guys are not selling machines. You guys are selling the best parts. You guys are selling the solutions. You know, it might sound cliche, but you get this is a problem with the SMR industry and like nuclear as well. Like all these nerds want to get 2 or 3% levels higher efficiency when they should get 2 or 3% levels higher revenues. You know what I mean? Like they're optimizing the wrong places, and he came in there and he's turning that company around. They are going to build a massive scale out in the Midwest, is what he kind of disclosed on the interview. They're looking at operations there too, but the bottlenecks that they're going to see on that scale out is their cost of unit production and their ability to produce these 3D printers. My theory is they know every single 3D printer that they've deployed and who has them, and as this whole wave, you're going to see a boom and bust cycle. If we catch the bust cycle, they're going to start clawing back those machines and putting them into service, because they're going to be essentially scaling out the solutions and the engineering rather than selling the machines to companies who are like, okay, I just bought a $6 million machine to 3D print parts. What do I do now? Whereas, like, you just wanted the parts, dude. Why didn't you just have them optimize the topologies, optimize the process, and send you the fucking parts?
And their contracts are sticky, right? I mean, especially during these geopolitical tensions, they're going to be ramping up production.
You know what contracts they have right now?
I think it was One Army, right? One Army. I'm looking at the.
Oh, they have Army. They also have a little rocket company startup that you might have heard of called SpaceX. They're building the Raptor engines for that little startup, and we'll see if they, if they keep going, they might be deploying a little bit more mass to orbit. They also have Anduril, another little company that they're kind of helping out, just to get their feet under them and get up and operational. And this,
do they have any big players though? I mean, these are penny stocks.
They're not even listed, man. These guys can't even get on the stock market. But I think one day, if
I think they have 2 tickers. They're trying to get 2 tickers listed for some reason. It's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, no, I heard that one of the small space startup, that SpaceX team, I heard that they're going to try and get listed like soon, but I don't know how much. I don't know how well they're going to do.
Jokes aside, that may mark the top of space for a while.
100%, Ryan. 100%.
I'm just posting the Velo chart right now. Can you talk about that fucking what is it? Shake Shack? RR comes out of nowhere with these weird ass tickers that no one's fucking talking about, deviating a little bit from these space stocks. Shake Shack has a fucking, hold up, let me just make sure I'm looking at this right. A hamburger company is worth $4 billion market cap.
Burgers are terrible. I don't like them.
Crispy.
Butter on the bun, dog.
I could not fucking believe burgers and French fries, $4 billion fucking dollars. 4.
Because they're growing a very big element in the market, okay? So I don't take my children to McDonald's and Burger King at all. Never. It's my red line. But when it comes to Shake Shack, because they represent themselves as we are healthier and fresher and more different than the other fast food companies that you guys know, they're growing. And
It's
they
also
have
like a
different
step
products.
above. It's a step above too. It's like a nicer experience every day. You don't feel like you're going to a
Yeah, I think Wendy's kind of tried to do that, but wasn't too successful.
Okay.
And I think Shake Shack is covered.
I went
That's
to
why.
Shake Shack one time. The kid running the fucking teller was pert near brain dead. The lettuce was damn near slimy, and it was like the bun was soaked in like fucking popcorn butter for
I
a
don't know what kind of
You're
neighborhood
on the
you go,
wrong
but
one,
we
yeah.
always
I know,
get
but
good ones.
What neighborhoods are you hanging out in?
If they can't effectively copy paste their fucking operation, then what the hell are they doing?
That may be the first. That may be the first one I've heard. See, I would go to Shake Shack over any burger place by far. But I've had great experiences at the different ones that I've been to. You're actually probably the first one I've heard that had a negative experience, which I respect. I love hearing different opinions.
I can't believe it.
Well, I like to go Bear Burger. Do you guys have Bear Burger?
Yeah, Bear Burger's
That's
nice.
so organic. That's the best, I think. So I go there, but of course they're pricey.
I just
Talking
think
about
Danny
QSR,
Meyer.
I mean, what do you guys think about Kava?
Sammy, I think Danny Meyer just has it together on that company. He's really pushed it. He's everywhere. And once you create like that real cult brand following, you'll get through whatever you need to get through. It really doesn't matter.
Is that Shake Shack you're referring to?
Yeah.
So I posted the chart on the Nest, bro. This fucking thing is just making high. It's an ascending wedge right now, but this thing, once it breaks out, we can see triple digits all over again on this thing. It's kind of fucking impressive. I'm not gonna lie.
Fuck it, I'm taking my kid to In-N-Out right now.
Granted, I love In-N-Out, but I'm on the East Coast and I don't really have that many choices, and they don't want to expand out here.
Dude,
So
In-N-Out is mid in my opinion. So mid, so disappointing.
All you Texans, your Whataburger can get fucked. Oh, In-N-Out sucks. Whataburger is so fucking amazing. Like, Whataburger is like fucking Texan Arctic Circle. Meh.
Oh my god. Just one last
We're
thing.
getting in a real debate here. Whataburger's way better than In-N-Out.
Dude, you put the chilies on your In-N-Out though?
Sammy, make a poll. Sammy, make a poll.
How do you do that?
If the discussion is where do you get the best burger in your life? Okay, in your life, you're gonna go to Peter Luger's.
No,
Right,
now
or
we're
Peter's Luger, whatever. Okay,
coming
New
up.
York. You're gonna get your $25 burger. All right, it'll be like
So GK, if that's the name,
Michelin burger joint.
It's $150 parking ticket plus $3 for the transaction fee. Minetta Tavern, I would say, is better than Peter's.
so they've closed down the famous steakhouse across from Wall Street. If you knew about that one, they used to have good burgers there. But if you want to get good burgers there, the best thing is to kind of get your own meat and possibly make them yourself once in a while.
No Diddy.
Yeah, but,
I did make burgers out of a Wagyu meat, and it does come out pretty good.
You get Wagyu, you get Kobe, but the South Koreans, man, if you really want to, learn a thing or two pertaining to this, I never knew this. I watched this documentary about a year and a half ago called Hanwha Dynasty. God, geez, you want to talk about people that take their beef seriously? They make the Japanese look like this.
What? I'm gonna touch my own fucking food like a peasant?
So they don't really make you like the amount of wastage that we have in the States, right? Some other countries they utilize other parts of the animal, right? So even like countries like Spain. So yeah, if you get to travel internationally, yeah.
Oh yeah, cheek meat tacos, dope. Cabeza.
Oh, by the way, I don't think nothing goes to waste in this country as well. They're grinding the hell out of it in the meat, everything. The bones turns into, salad as a gelatin. Nothing is going to waste in this country, too. They're grinding it up.
Hey, Karang, I have a question for you. You mentioned grid. I saw that it was mostly built up of industrial, not utility. Are you still in this since you've been in this for 4 or 5 plus years?
Yep. And then even water. No, because when it comes down to it, grid dynamics, when it comes to the growth long term, I don't see I don't see it even being done in the next 4 to 5 years, because they're gonna have to build it out and replace a lot of, and those are where the industrials come in, right? So they're industrial suppliers into that.
Blonde, if you're listening, keyword water whenever you're ready. Go ahead.
if you want the water play that's been, well, outside of the AI boom that was actually outperforming the market, right? Once the whole China narrative going into 2023 was over, just look up some of Invesco's funds on that. And you can see there's, and you don't have to play the ETF. You can use the exchange traded fund and do a top down approach and then a bottom up and see where the performance really is.
Talking about water, I mean, I've been printing on AWK. AWK recently reclaimed a key resistance. If you guys check the chart.
American Water Works.
Yeah. You got Consolidated Water, CW. Yeah, there's a few companies.
SCW, I'm aware of that. That's the $2 ticker, right? SCWO.
Oh, that's the super concentrated water. That's the what's the name?
Your boy, Monotov?
Schmade. I can't remember his actual name, but like that's his YouTube channel, Schmade. That's one he's deep into. But yeah, it's a little frothy. I don't know. It's a little dodgy. I don't know. I have never touched it.
Yeah, I wish Blonde, if you're awake, I would love the water thesis for 2030. If she's listening, I think she's busy, but she's got a really great thesis on water.
Water is going to be harder to come by.
If you guys want to add on your water watch list, I have been aware of this stock a couple of years. It's Primo Services Corporation, PREM.
I've heard of this one. Let me take
I would also add FLS, FlowServe.
FLS. Let me see.
I think that's the ticker, but
yeah, you got it. FLS. Oh shit. Yeah.
FLS.
Yeah, this looks good, buddy.
Oh, FlowServe. Okay.
They're like, if you're talking about pumps, valves, seals, piping, manifolds, like for water, oil, chemicals, anything. Like these are this is a pretty good name. This is in my boomer box.
I like how you put them in categories that are fucking like our parents' names and shit. Oh my god. Yeah, this thing looks fucking good. It's at resistance, so it looks like it wants to break out, but let me see. Yeah. Holy shit, it did. It actually did and tested.
Correct. I love your thesis on that and how it's been playing out, but have you taken a look at the chart?
There's a biotech play that I'm researching. It's a little bit risky, so smaller position size, but it's called MTLA.
MTLA?
Yeah.
MTLA. Bio? Oh my fucking god.
Yeah.
Full fucking disclosure, I hate bio stocks. I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole.
I got another boomer box for you. Atmos Filtration, ATMU. They, for like a lot of these air systems, they're going to need filters, right? And the filters are the recurring revenue. You have service agreements. You have like sticky contracts. These guys just had a bit of a dip. It might be one to put on your watch list for a recovery going into this theme.
Yeah, the monthly's got an ascending scallop. Holy shit, dude. Yeah, this looks good.
ATMU may be getting to knife territories, and I'm not in it, but that's just in my boomer box that I thought other people might find interesting for this theme.
Oh yeah, this is straight alpha. I like this chart, dude. Fucking nice. It's just straight up Hulk dicks everywhere, dude. Jesus.
Yeah, but that drawdown that we just had in that one could potentially give an entry. Like the last week has been pretty brutal on them.
No, it's just a small retracement, what I'm seeing here. I mean, it's got a huge, massive channel to the upside, so it kind of makes sense for the drawdown a little bit, right? So,
that's their biggest dip in damn near over a year. Actually, in the history of the stock, this is probably their biggest 1 week drawdown.
Yeah, so 55.51 is what I'm looking at as a first target. If it doesn't bounce off that, then I'm looking at 49.65. These ascending channels are absolutely positive, and when you have these retracements, you don't want to have a too much pullback, because then this ascending scallop actually gets null and void. So I'm looking at a 32% retracement. That's like the sweet spot off of these ascending scallops. But other than that, I mean, bare minimum 45.36, but I do see 55.51 and 49.65. One of the two.
These guys make fuel filters, air filters, fuel water separators, lube filters, hydraulic filters, coolants, additives. So like they have their fingers in a few pies. I think they got spun out. Let me see. Cummins. They spun out of Cummins, which is a big diesel company. So like Cummins, like there's a diesel factory near where I grew up. Cummins is a pretty big name in terms of like your Peterbilts, your like just big trucks, your transport, your trannies, that whole segment. But Atmos is like a pretty decent spin out that has a little bit of stickiness across a broader category set.
I have been talking about TGLS. They're the second biggest glass manufacturer from Colombia. They're listed in the New York Stock Exchange. I'm waiting for a sub $1.5 billion valuation. I mean, these guys, like, they have about $1 billion in revenue, and they have around 30% EBITDA margins. They provide dividends. They constantly reinvest in capex, and they're building a manufacturing facility in Florida right now. So if this keeps falling, I'll scoop that for the swing long term. TGLS.
Captain Tight. RR. There's some comment. Oh, okay. This is regarding stock bully. I mean, not stock bully. Stock talk. Awesome. Yeah. Great stuff. Any alpha on robot stocks? Do we have robot guys down there? Someone's questioning some robot tickers. That's actually a good question.
Teradyne is one that I know.
Teradyne.
Teradyne's probably the most popular. I'll tell you a little trick for anybody just listening that's like trying to do some research. Some of these ETFs do a really good job of giving you exposure, but they also do a really good job of just doing the research like category wise for you. So like Crane Shares has one, KOID. There's also BOTT from Themes, which is part of Leverage Shares. You can go just look at the holdings that they have within theirs and then pick the ones that you like from there. So that's literally just a beginner's tip for anybody that's looking to do some more research into categories like robotics. Go find these ETFs like BOTT or KOID, these humanoid robotic ETF baskets, and then look at what holdings they have in there. Be careful paying attention to the weights, just word of caution, because obviously if something goes up big over a quarter, it'll look like it's a 10% weighting in there. That could just be a performance-based weighting rather than a true, like, we're more bullish on this, etc.
Yeah, maybe based on the prior run more than the conviction. I would just add to that too, when you're looking through those ETFs, look for the GICS numbers or the ICB numbers. That will give you the industrial classification or like the classification in the actual NASDAQ or NYSE of where they're lumped in. And then you take that number and then you look for indexes that have those numbers, and you'll be able to find even more that might not be necessarily inside of that ETF, but you can look at that sector more broadly.
Correct. Great additional research point there. Just for anybody that's trying to do the research, those are two huge keys that will definitely help you out. Also, those ETFs, they'll actually get you exposure to some of these other markets that maybe it's harder for you to get access to invest in Hong Kong or South Korea or wherever.
Or privates too.
Or privates, and they do have methods that they're able to get, the exposure to these companies that don't trade on the U.S. exchange at times.
I do want to say that is fucking alpha, guys. This space is being recorded on my YouTube channel. It's in the NES. So if you guys need to go revert back to certain time frames that these guys are talking about, tickers, baskets, all the conversations, I mean, it's on the YouTube. I'm actually streaming right now, but that's straight up alpha, dude.
If someone is like having a hard time finding the ETFs, reaching out, like going the top-down approach like this, you can just go to Vibble, and when you look at a ticker that's doing well, you go to the profile. You don't only know about the companies, just short summary, but if you scroll down, they will give you sub-industry companies that they're in the same field, doing the same thing, and there's a whole bunch of lists. Like you could see a whole bunch of tickers that are related to what just you were looking for, and then you can just go through them. So I was looking at one of them, right? It's the TR that you just mentioned, and just going through that here, I've reached the 50 other tickers that are doing basically the similar things. So I'm like, right now I'm going to go through them one by one. That's a very easy method to do it on Webull, and it's it's not even paid, free.
Thank you so much for that. KRKNF. Somebody's in the purple pill. KR. That's Kraken, right? Kraken.
Kraken.
Fucking KR.
You got a crackhead in the audience.
Yeah, Kraken. I think they trade on the Toronto Venture.
They may get uplisted. I've heard whisperings about them
I've
getting
heard the same.
uplisted, but they're another one of those frothy annual suppliers. They provide battery systems, sensor systems. In that overall theme, you also have Coda, CODA, Coda Octopus. You have OII, you have KITT. But like some of the most interesting stuff in this like underwater drone segment come out of Europe. If you guys don't follow BMAX Packs, she's on it. Like she knows a lot more about the European market. But the one that I'm the most interested in is XAIL, EXAIL. That's a D pick. That it's on the foreign exchanges, but it's not here. But I think for ocean tech, they're probably one of the most interesting.
So
if you guys do those markets,
you have Grumman too as well.
You have Grumman, Klongberg, Harrington, Ingalls, Lockheed Martin has an underwater drone. Like, there's a lot of them, but for the high torque, like little itty bitty ones is what I primarily follow.
So you have Project Orca between Huntington, Lockheed, and Boeing. So
is that their Lamprey?
So that's their larger, larger drone that can launch smaller ones from it. So it's a collaboration.
The Lamprey?
I don't think it's called a Lamprey. I think it was just Project Orca, right? And then they are, I don't think they've named it yet.
The Lamprey is kind of a little fella, but it can shoot drones and missiles and warfare and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. So Project Orca, if you look that one up, and that's between HII, BA, and LT.
Yeah, that's in the naval technology. It's the Orca XLUUV. So that's like an extra large unmanned, 85 foot. This is a big boy, diesel electric. And one thing that King brought up about an hour ago, he was talking about DRS. Leonardo DRS is they have I think it's Italian, or you probably know KP, but they also have an American division. But if you're looking at naval energy systems, like in terms of like the nuclear power, the diesel turbines, like all the control systems and power routing stuff, DRS is thick into that supply chain. So if we're talking about directed energy lasers, DRS is good there, and SB is another one of the Black Skull's mic picks for the directed energy system and the underlying energy infrastructure that is necessary for these things to work. And that's your ESPs and your DRSs.
I want to ask the panel something because one of the Discord members just asked me a question, and this is for you guys. Do you guys think with the current environment that we are in right now, the picks that we're talking about, is it sustainable? Like, aside from the fundamentals, but is it going to sustain? Is the question, especially with this drawdown that we are seeing.
It's an incredible
Depends on your
topic.
time horizon.
Correct. Go ahead, Chris. If you want to tackle that, and I'll throw some thoughts in.
I just say it depends on your time horizon. Like, are you going to see 40% drawdowns? Yeah. Is that going to shake you out? Probably. But for just Ondas in particular, like I've been in since a buck, so I can ride this horse quite a bit further than other people can. So like it really kind of depends on your timing. If you're trying to like catch momentum waves here and there, yeah, it's not going to be sustainable for you. But if you're trying to position for a longer term narrative and theme, maybe it will. But you have to be able to retest your assumptions and be able to change your conviction if the territory changes. If Ondas doesn't get if Fortem gets more of these counter drone contracts, which seems to be the theme, if Ondas gets nothing from the DHS counter drone, I'll probably drop my bags off because that fundamentally changes my conviction. They will probably be more international. They'll probably still win. But if they don't get a significant American DHS contract, then I'm probably going to be at least sizing down or like looking at other plays.
And I love that you said that because a lot of people marry fucking tickers and they hold bags. But the fact that you're able to let go immediately, especially when you are, been advocating for Ondas for months, I love how you're able to pivot. And a lot of people need to understand that the pivoting is not a bad idea, especially when the thesis doesn't pan the fuck out. I love that about that. I love that about you. Excuse me.
but I can take more tree shaking moments than most because, I up 9x on this thing, like if it goes to 8, no matter what, and what I'm writing out is getting to my long-term capital gains threshold, which I'm about there. I'm knocking on the door of long-term capital gains on Ondas because that's how long I've been in that. So me being shaken out at a short-term capital gain structure is going to be different than getting shaken out at a long-term capital gain structure. And like your tax loss, your optimization, so many things that you need to do as to manage your portfolio need to be taken account as you're day trading and like swing trading. That like if you're dropping a position after a month, it's a much different tax dynamic than dropping a position after a year.
I love that you said that. A lot of people need to listen to that. You're able to pivot, man.
Yeah. People love to, on the surface level, like, oh, I thought you loved this, and say, oh, you're changing your thesis or whatever. Pivoting is literally one of the most crucial things in trading, investing, all of the above. Like that was a huge point for anybody to listen to. Another thing I would add, just on the where we're at in the market cycle, you can kind of see that these pre-revenue companies right now, everyone loved them in kind of the later stage of the bull run last fall. Right now, these pre-revenue companies are kind of being punished a little bit. That's typical behavior in kind of a late stage cycle. So I would be careful as you go into this. I mean, there's things like Ondas and some of these other ones that that they're signing contracts for future revenue. That's one thing, that you can research and kind of put into the puzzle a little bit. But a lot of these other stocks that have run up like crazy that are still pre-revenue companies, like some of these space stocks, some of these quantum stocks, things like that, I think I would be very wary of those in the current environment of the market that we're in because it's more of a late stage right now.
Yeah, and just to kind of piggyback on that as well, like you got to know, like Bruno, Psych Profits, William, like they have excellent spaces on Wednesdays. It's kind of like it's a bit more dry than some of our other frothy stuff, but they have so much alpha in there and talking about like the cycles of growth. Like be familiar with the Lassonde curve. Be familiar with like some of these other areas. One of the things that they brought up and talked about extensively is like you have this is secondhand, so I'm probably gonna not display it accurately, but you have the theme, the dream, and the meme, as you can think of it, like for a lot of these momentum, and they deal a lot with penny stocks and like low micro caps and small caps and tickers across all kinds of markets, and so they really know how to like pick these things apart. But you have like the theme, okay, is this company hitting a theme that might be at an inflection point? The dream, okay, what is this company that's selling that's unique to this company, that like what's their dream that they're trying to tackle? And then the meme, like did the overall market catch up to this? And you can kind of see like when they hit that meme stage of the cycle, that's probably going to be when you want to drop off, unless you're like really long term, really high conviction. Because if you look at the Lassonde curve, Lassonde, I believe is how it's spelled, but that's how you really map mining companies. Like, so like a mining company will get speculative. They will like, maybe they'll get an assay back that, okay, hey, there's gold in them bar hills. So boom, you have a big pump on that first, like they've successfully explored, they've successfully found a resource. Everything looks golden for them. That's where they get their first little wave, and then it fades, because it's not just about finding gold. It's about building the infrastructure, building the equipment, getting the funding, getting the financing, getting everything you need to mine that gold. And so a lot of these companies follow a very similar curve where like, okay, this drone stock, they got a big contract to like test out their technology, or bam, they got like in the news for something. Now they're at that huge like first bubble of like momentum, and then it's going to fade from that, because now they actually have to scale their enterprise. Now they actually have to go to production rather than prototype. They have to get to those production levels, and that's going to be the start of the second curve. And where they are along those kind of time frames and how fast they can iterate and collapse that window is going to be important for any of these companies. Because if you catch at the top of the first curve and you ride that thing down, you're just going to be like, okay, that stock is bullshit. I'm never going to touch it again. I lost so much money on that one, because you were late. You caught the wrong side of the wave, and you're probably not going to be positioned for the next wave, and you're probably going to buy the next top.
Yo, I'm so fucking glad I'm recording right now, Crispy. People, holy shit, Crispy, I'm waiting for that fucking YouTube, homie. Where the fuck is it? You need it right now, bro. I want to see your ass fucking grow, bitch.
I'm still learning, man. It's just I'm just a LARP, okay? I'm a live action role player out here trying to share the lessons that I've learned from bigger minds and the things that I've soaked up over my years,
I look forward to your progress, bro, and I hope you make a lot of fucking millions. I really do. I look forward to that, man. What you're doing right now, you're doing it for free, and people should be listening in closely. Because the man's putting in the hours and the fucking sternum to actually take a look at what he's talking about. He knows what the fuck he's doing. Jesus Christ.
Sammy, he's gotten CEOs to come up and speak.
You telling me, bro? This man is a fucking genius. He's a fucking bot at the same time, but he's a genius, bro.
Oh, by the way, another shameless promotion. Unusual Machine CEO interview, 5:30 market time on Monday. They report that morning. So if you guys are interested in drones and the industry overall, that's the next one on deck.
Bro, plug that shit plug it in the nest, bro. Please.
No, I'm popping up in the nest.
Please, I want everybody to eat, man. Especially UMAC. That fucking chart is beautiful, dude. It's fucking gorgeous.
And let me add another one. If you guys are interested in Redwire, homie Space Investor is going to be interviewing Peter Canito, the CEO of Redwire, on March 12th. So go to his page and make sure you turn on the notification for that one. It's March 12th at 5 market time, I believe. I'll be picking up my kids, but I'll be listening in on that one. He always does excellent. A lot of the stuff that I have learned over the years and over the months has been like just from a Space Investor. He's a great interviewer.
Yeah, and
that's Redwire, ticker RDW. If some of you guys might be familiar with that name.
I could have sworn, wasn't Kat, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't she in this one or RCat?
Redwire, Redcat, they're similar. Like in terms of like my thoughts on management and like a lot, but I do think Redwire is going to be successful, but it's just hard to judge execution considering their margins, considering like they purchased Edge Autonomy, which is a large format drone company, is really promising, but that was like kind of the dog that caught the car moment, and it was a really big bite for them. So they've been digesting that acquisition for a while. I did think that I did play their earnings pretty decently this last one, but it's still at the point of indigestion because this company, a lot of the things that you need to know about a lot of these space companies and defense companies is how lumpy their revenues can get, because they'll get a project for, especially with space, this is huge. Like Frequency Electronics, FEIM is very similar. They'll get a project, they'll get a contract to validate a technology or to deliver a product to like either Space Force, Department of War, or whatever. And so they're going to have a lot of engineering expenses and a lot of prototyping and expenses that go into validating this technology that they're supposed to deliver. And so their gross margins are going to shrink. But if that technology gets validated and the Department of War puts in a purchase order, that prototyping scale is done, all of that CapEx like exposure has been done. So now they move from, okay, this has been validated, now we're going to scale it. So that's where you see margin expansion. So a lot of these companies have very lumpy gross margins because they're so dependent upon long time duration programs from the government, essentially.
Let me put that. Appreciate that. Who's up here? Oh, never mind. Guys, please follow Crispy. Highly recommend following Crispy. Everything's being recorded on the YouTube. It's in the nest, but holy shit, dude. What time is that UMAC meeting, by the way? I forgot.
Give me a second. I'm trying to figure out how to paste it effectively.
Thank you. RR, give me one more ticker. Give me one of those commodity things that you like to look at.
Kroger.
Maybe Kroger.
I
shop there every
Kroger.
Damn day.
There we go, Crispy.
I get that fuel points, man. It's all about them fuel points.
They're highly overlooked because AI and data centers are sexy, but with what we're seeing now, I would be running for the hills.
With the whole OpenAI Oracle bullshit?
Semiconductors, SanDisk, oil going up, what they're gonna, their margins starting to change, everything.
Oh, dude.
Look at SanDisk. Look at WDC. I'm short WDC. I'm gonna short this thing all the way back down. I feel sorry for people that don't see a chart and don't see price action and don't, they read way too much into the fundamentals, because those things can be 2, 3 years, 4 years down the road. You had a great run. It's been amazing. Until something changes, until they can get that oil back down, until, the world stops acting crazy, this is the volatility we're going to be involved in.
Are you saying SanDisk can potentially get back down to 198? Is that what you're telling me?
I mean, let's not put a 198 yet. Let's go step by step, right? And let the price decide as it goes down. Look at Meta, just barely holding up. I think your NVIDIA cleared 50% of a retracement on the weekly candle, all right? That, to me, is weakness. I think if anyone really invests and buys things, you wait for that Friday.
You got a phone call?
Anyway, I put the interview up in the nest. It's 5:30 market time. Earnings in the pre-market that day, so we'll have plenty to talk about. But I only get 30 minutes with him because he's in between things in New York. But got to take the chances when you can.
Absolutely. Guys, he posted on the Nest, Monday, 5:30 market time, talking to earnings. Oh, perfect, dude. 5:30, okay. Fucking perfect, dude.
You hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, you're back.
My bad. Yeah, I just saw a ton of discrepancy in flows towards Friday close. Look at NVIDIA on the weekly, Sammy. That 50% retracement of the previous week. And I know you can see it on S&P and NQ. And if anyone, people were saying we're not heading anywhere, look at the Vanguard. Look at the Vanguard. I have a lot of friends, police officers, firefighters, everyone that dumps money in there long term. Look at VI. Look at the chart of VI. That shit scared me. And I don't mean, scared, I'm selling anything. I'm just looking at a chart and saying, okay, we had so much bearish momentum. Things just don't stop. It was like when people said October 10th on crypto, we're going to be okay. Okay, where are you at now? What's going down?
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, the next 2 years possibly won't be like the previous 2 years we had. We had a huge run-up in these stocks. I never thought I'd make that much money in certain plays, right? And now I'm seeing them get outpaced by things people actually spend their money on every day.
But you had a crowded AI trade for 3 years, essentially, tech and AI. And then now the last 6 months or so, you've got all these stocks that had no love for that long catching a bid because the other things are kind of stalling out, re-rating a little bit. So you can kind of explain some of that away. I will say that some of the weekly candles are concerning. I think you can make both arguments here, and then just lean into whichever one. And this is what I do. Yeah, I make an up argument, a down argument, a sideways argument for everything, and I lean into the one that is the strongest, and then I'm prepared for the other. And if you look at like for example, the Nasdaq itself, it's been super weak, but it actually, sorry if y'all can hear my daughter, she's excited. She's upset about the Nasdaq. Whoa. Hold on 1 second.
Take your time, brother.
Yeah, basically the Nasdaq itself is actually holding in at the bottom of this range now, while the other things are catching up. So either tech takes the lead back of this market, or we do re-rate lower. That's my base thesis here.
I love that too.
But these weekly candles are kind of rough. If you look at the Dow, look at the RSP, the equal weight, which was doing very well, outperforming the market. The equal weight came down really hard this week as well. So there are some things that you look at and you say, okay, either the Nasdaq holds here and starts to lead us back up, or everything's going to come down probably another level or two lower.
Ryan, can you factor this into your analysis? How about we take a Nasdaq made up of 54% in tech, and we kind of clean itself out a little bit and bring that down and bring up things like we wanted, like the energy, the consumer staples, or utilities. Because I know Karang has been looking at utilities technically, because some of the industrial plays, he said, are almost half made up of the utilities. So that doesn't mean it'll just dump, right? It'll go down.
That's actually why I think we haven't dumped from where we're at over the last few months, is because of all the broadening out of these other sectors. And if you look, they're selling off things sector by sector. One day, like yesterday, you'll notice it was like industrials were the ones that were really getting killed. The last couple weeks, 3 weeks or so, it's been like the big banks and tech, and obviously software kind of led the way before that. They're kind of spreading it out. We haven't seen just indiscriminate selling across the board yet.
No, but it is starting to accelerate more and more, a lot more. And people were like, "Oh, I think software is getting a bid here," but they do look swingy, counter trendy on all the charts. So,
Yeah, and it's an important or like thing to note there, because you could say there's an opportunity in software here. It's not saying that, hey, I'm calling a bottom, but you can call a local bottom and take a trade to the upside for, even if it turns into a dead cat bounce, it's still a good risk reward play.
yeah, for sure. I mean, look at those trades are actually the fastest. Like Palantir. Palantir got an amazing bid this last week. I don't know how long that'll last, but it did get a tremendous bid. Look at the daily candles on the spreads on those. You know.
No, I mean Palantir it's I guess the timing, it was the perfect storm for them. I mean, everybody was speculating that they're not worth this, that, and the third, but at the same time, we have a fucking war. This is where they thrive. It's insane the timeline that we're in, but Palantir is probably a safe bet, not financial advice, but I missed that train. I fucking missed that train. I actually beat myself up for missing that, but it was a beautiful consolidation phase, and right after that war announcement, boom, it just went off. Just completely lift off. I'm looking at Dow. I got a harmonic at 22,488, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm still glad I sold my Palantir at 180.
Nice move. Nice move.
That Palantir was honestly what got me into investing last year, because I only started investing last year in March, because I've always like paper traded in my head. I've always done like a lot of like following, like, you know, I've looked at Bitcoin back in the Silk Road days, and like, that's probably going to go somewhere. Looked at Ethereum at like 10, 11. Oh, that's probably going to, Nvidia is probably going to be big with this whole AI thing. But I never actually put things in. But with the Trump election, I wanted to get Palantir exposure, and then I looked through Palantir supply chains. I looked at like Palantir's vendor relationships. I looked at the companies doing deals with them. I looked at the rare earths theme, and I just kind of like started building a web, and then just kind of like following it along. But Palantir was the reason I got into the markets, because I saw the opportunities being way too big, and that's what made me want to invest. But then when they're up into the close to the 200s, I'm like, I don't know how much more growth Palantir is going to have, and I want to be able to deploy that into higher torque, like the drone theme, and that's where I kind of like liquidated out of it. Same thing with Kratos. Like, okay, Kratos is probably going to continue to be an important company for a long time duration, but how much juice is left in this orange, like compared to some of the other names? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Sammy, this is kind of looking like a .com bubble.
Oh, gee, I wonder why. God, remember that lesson on Discord, bro? Fuck.
Remember everyone passing the money around to each other for the last 2 years? You take this 40 billion.
Then you got BlackRock. And then you got BlackRock with these credit spreads conversations, right? And then you got that coming. Like, dude, it's just ridiculous. Then the revision of the jobless claims every fucking month. They're just really just trying to stifle us. They're just trying to stick it to us at this point.
RR just throwing a stack of bear bait into the room.
Listen, I'm not a bear.
It can rhyme and be different.
Yeah, I buy a lot of things. I rarely short just because it takes up so much margin on my account. But when the expected move is there, I get the space I need to enter something and really get my rate of return quickly, right? I want my money to make as much money for me as fast as it possibly can. It's there. WDC is something I was waiting for to top out. It looked beautiful. If you even go to a 4-hour and a daily on WDC, it gave me an understanding of where Sandisk might be, because Sandisk just looked way too strong. And, you know, it curled over. It gave you so much time to curl over, and it kept trying to take, like, anyone that was shorting it, it would hunt stop loss. I was fucking pissed, because I'm like, all right, I got to roll this over. I got to roll this out. And finally, there it goes. War breaks out. I didn't expect oil to shoot up that much, right? But there's a funny old saying I always heard. When oil's at $50, you expect some crazy shit to happen in the world.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, dude.
Yeah, I'm going to dip out of here pretty soon. I'm going to take my kid to lunch, but we're gonna go to In-N-Out Burger, but I gotta drive an extra 45 minutes because I need to go the long way so I can drive back to Shake Shack and flip those fuckers off. The same Shake Shack that botched my burgers. So I'm gonna drive an extra hour out of my way to flip off a Shake Shack before me and my kids go eat it In-N-Out. Anyway, y'all have a good one.
I'll see you later, Crispy.
Take care, Crispy.
Later, man.
Jesus Christ. If anybody want to come up and talk tickers, I can chart a couple more. I got to go work out. My fat ass needs to lose some weight. So please come up on stage. Any tickers. Everybody wins. I chart. You get the day. You get the. You get your fucking alpha. So come up on here and spit away. What a crazy conversation. Awesome conversation this morning, by the way. It's fucking great alpha. It's all being recorded, by the way, on the YouTube channel. It's a link in the nest. And UMAC interview with Crispy Monday, 5:30 p.m. Please put that on put your notifications on for that one. UMAC is absolutely on it's a wrecking ball. It's just breaking highs, and it wants to break out of that ascending wedge that I see on my chart. So please take a good look at that chart, man. It's a beautiful chart. That's all I'm going to say on that. I'll give myself 2 more minutes. If anybody wants to come up on stage, please. Other than that, I'm going to go for a walk, burn some calories. It was a really good session this morning. I think I've been streaming for like 2-3 hours now.
I can make a comment on like what Chris was saying. I know he rolled out of here, but on the Palantir thing, like just as like just general advice for people learning and getting into markets. Like I sold Palantir way too early. Obviously, I was in it like in the teens, low teens. I got out a lot in the 20s, held some more into like the 30-40 range, and exited my position. Obviously, it went multiple X's beyond that. Estoy hablando, espérame, ¿ok? Estoy hablando. Sorry, guys.
Pero yo no sabía que tú hablas español también, que tú eres mexicano.
Vivo en México.
Listo, está bien. All right, back to English.
Yeah, aquí ando. Yeah. Either way, so the point I want to make here is like, yes, Palantir's crazy, and I think a lot of people get enthralled by what a Palantir did. You could throw Robinhood in there. You could throw obviously like Nvidia. A lot of those companies are one of ones, and the thing is, like I say this, like look, I sold where I sold, and it obviously went much further. But I think a lot of people are trying to look for those one of ones instead of saying, hey, if I can get the return, like for example, I doubled my money or more on Palantir. If I can just, I just try to do that on a consistent basis across the board. If something goes way beyond that, fine. And you can hold runners. There's a million different approaches, but the point I want to make is, estoy hablando todavía. Espérame. The point I want to make is like, I think a lot of people get caught up in looking for the one-on-one companies instead of doing hey, I took a nice trade, a nice setup, I got multiple expansion, I'm up 2-3x on a position, and being okay exiting that and finding the next one that's going to do something similar and doing that on a consistent basis rather than trying to throw 10 darts at the wall and hope one of them is a Palantir, because there's very, very, very few. If you look at the actual odds of this, there's very, very few Palantirs out there. There's very few Nvidias out there. These are like once in a like a cycle generation type of stocks.
That's a great take, Ryan. And actually, even if you find it, like having the conviction to hold is not easy. So many people would sell before. So great take, Ryan.
Ryan,
yeah, I just try to take it down. Sorry, Rufa. I just try to take it down to a simplistic spot of like sometimes a trade can be over even if a move is not. And so like if you're a trader, or you're a position investor, swing trader, whatever you want to call it, a lot of times a move may not finish, but like your trade played out and you exit, you go to the next one, and you play the probabilities, you take the emotions out of it. If you do that, I guarantee you'll have a more overall success rate than if you just try to catch huge moves right and left and just ride based on vibes. Sorry, go ahead.
Ryan, I had a friend who was big on Palantir. This is a few years back.
Guys, don't forget to hit the like button if you're watching.
5 years ago?
Hit the like button. I highly appreciate that.
He was in the Army. He used to talk about it all the time, so I would trade it. Never did I think it would get up here. I wish I had listened to him back then, and these names have had a tremendous run up, like tremendous. You can trade them. And you're right, 100%. If you're trading something, your move is done. All right, you're not holding this for a long time. But as an investor, they are very special names, very, very special names. I think they mapped out the 2000s, 2020 era for us.
Let me write that.
Actually, talking about RR, there's a company called RR. Listen. I'm done with that fucking company. I was in that so long ago, buying it, and then when it hit X, I was like, yeah, I'm dumping on these people because that's it. That's my new index on when things are over. The time to get out index, I call it.
Oh, by the way, real quick, I want to plug in the Discord. I will have a study group next weekend, learning candles. Everybody's been asking, well, what do these images with the candles mean? And Discord members, you know, I shout out to the listeners down there. I figured we might as well do a little bit of study group, so the link is in the bio, guys. But, you know, candles, you need to learn fucking candles, guys. I mean, I see people taking fucking positions at a fucking all-time high, and there's a goddamn doji, right? I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. Please, if you're gonna play in the casino, learn how to win. Learn how to control your emotions. Look at the charts, guys. At some point, like Jesus fucking Christ, don't give money back to these fucking hedgies. They're already killing us.
It would be like getting a 20 at a blackjack table and telling the guy hit me.
Exactly. You have one arm behind your back. You're bringing a knife to a fucking gunfight. I can't believe. Like, I go on spaces, dude. Like, I have like 4 spaces, like 4 trading spaces, and some of these fucking guys, holy shit. Like, what? A doji. Oscillators telling you it's scalding. Let's fucking go and go all in. Are you fucking, like, the risk reward is not there for you, my guy.
Sammy, you pulled me up for a second because I just gotta workshop your slogan right there. If you're gonna play in the casino, learn how the game works. Is how I would phrase it.
Bingo. Thank you for that. Please.
Anyway, have a good one, y'all.
God bless you, bro. And please get me a burger. I appreciate it, bro. Anyway, link is in the bio, and I am going to go ahead and end it there, ladies and gentlemen. Please hit the follow button, hit the YouTube follow, X follow, all the follows. Could care less if you fucking hate me. At the end of the day, I just want you guys to trigger the algos, man. More haters, the more you grow, guys. So any business you endeavor, you can't just have always yes men around you. You gotta have the no's, please. That's how the game works, guys. So anyway, love you guys. Cheers, and I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow, if not next week. Bye.